Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks so much for tuning to it. A fine Redemption Thursday to you and yours. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com, where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything, but if you do miss something, remember this. All 3 hours going to be posted both on iTunes and in our own audio vault upon the conclusion of the program. You can email the show if you like. It's jcs@979ESPNradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow. WTSM app works for your mobile devices, and you can watch us on YouTube. Go to ESPN Tallahassee there and find us. Subscribe, and every day you can watch. Hope everybody's all right. Florida State Clemson a couple days from now. All right, getting there. Getting my mind wrapped around it. Still don't feel good about it. Confidence, daily confidence levels. There you go. You want to hit that? That's fine. I can. I'll give you 1. Daily confidence level 1. You don't even have to hit the sounder.
Oh, I don't. There's no point to it now.
1. Maybe in 15 minutes, hit it again. I'll tell you if I feel any better than 1.
What are we setting the ceiling at for this? Like 1.8? 1.75?
Yeah, I would never feel really good about it. Well, here's your problem. And this is such a, pretty straightforward way to look at a game. We talk about it all the time. Everybody does. One of the things you look at is you always look at the line of scrimmage. And, I look at one of the things that is so troubling about this particular matchup. Sometimes I see games where, we're having a bad year, obviously, and we know that. And you say to yourself, well, what are you going to do? There's some things we can maybe do to disguise this, or the injuries here have hurt us, and, maybe we can help out and do these different things. But Clemson's defensive line is amongst the best, if not the best, in the country, and Florida State's offensive line sucks. Good night now. Thanks for playing, and everything else that you do from that point forward really becomes about window dressing and attempting to deceive and buy time, whether it's play action, whatever it might be. I don't know what you really can do to overcome such a distinct disadvantage. Clemson is, third best in the country in getting to opposing quarterbacks. Florida State, they average 3.7 sacks a game, does Clemson. Florida State gives up 3.1 sacks per game, which is 119th in the country, by the way. So if you're wondering about the matchup, again, second in the nation, Clemson is, not third, sorry. In getting sacks, Florida State 119th in the nation, and preventing them, well,
you might say there's a distinct advantage there.
My goodness gracious, that's a problem. It's what you worry about. And Venables' defenses are good. They are attacking, and they play with great ferocity. And, we haven't been really successful against groups like that. So that makes me a little nervous, and I wonder then what Jimbo does to combat that. There are some things in any matchup that you can do to help yourself, but in doing so, you choose this one thing, you're taking away all these others, and I think it's too much to overcome.
I agree. I'm fighting off a sneeze as we speak right now, but
that's fine. I can give you my picks.
Well, the number one thing I'd say about this weekend, as I'm really fighting it off, my eyes are watering, and I'm really impressed with this effort.
Why don't you take a break and go ahead and get that sneeze out there and
stop the dive. You just stop the dive as I sneeze.
Stop the dive. I love when we say that, because I think, oddly enough, and we know that they might actually be able to do that.
Well, the question is, when they use that,
we stopped the dive against other teams, and it didn't matter.
No, when they run the quarterback or they run something off tackle, yes, where are our linebackers? Where is the second-level defender?
Thank you. Yes. I have no faith that they'll be where they need to be. And by the way, this kid can run. He's a big dude. Strong, agile.
Good news for you. See, I just came from outside before the show started.
Weather has dipped.
It has. The front has passed, man.
I walked outside and felt it earlier. I went, yeah, click. Here we go. At least we'll have football weather, if not a team.
So there's that change in the pressure, and I'll be sniffling when my mic's off all day long.
There you go. Redemption Thursday means Redemption Thursday wagers, and being that I have been so successful, many of you await these picks with bated breath. I understand.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Yeah. Rolling Big River, a season to remember. We have been dominant. I should do this show pantless with all the money I'm making you.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
Go take Cameron's picks and keep on keeping on, kids. New shoes, new shirts. We keep it up, new cars.
Ball's free!
Washington -6 versus Stanford. Stanford packing it in. I like that Washington defense. Give the 6 all day.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
South Carolina's offense is putrid. Florida has quit. I'll take South Carolina at home -5.5.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Just at a hunch, perhaps maybe an emotional wager. One I'm not going to touch in my real life, but I got to pick 10 games here. Give me Army +3 against Duke.
Yeah, I like them.
Thing I don't like about it, Coach, Duke coming off a bye.
That's good to know.
Michigan State +17 against Ohio State. 17 just too rich for my blood. How does Ohio State come back from a gut punch of the size of the one delivered by Iowa? I mean,
State of Iowa. That's how big
that
was.
Good Lord. I mean, equaled the worst loss from a point margin standpoint of Urban Meyer's career. And it effectively ended Ohio State's dreams. All of them. In life or otherwise. So I'll take Michigan State against the downtrodden, going through the motions Ohio State team. Michigan State +17.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
You guys say, good Lord, Cameron, would you at some point stop riding Wyoming? They're chafing. Just leave them be, please, at some point. Oh! I'm going to take Wyoming +3 against Air Force. I can't stop riding Wyoming. Come on, Wyoming. Let's keep the fun and games around here rolling.
Bucking Broncos over here.
Woo! Put that saddle on, Wyoming. Ride you for one more week against the Air Force. I may have forced the issue. It may be one too many weeks, but I'll do it +3. Oh! Virginia +11.5 against Louisville. Here's the deal. Virginia's not very good. Louisville kind of quit a while back. Maybe right after they beat us. Damn it, man.
They're on the flight back. All right, guys, let's call it a year. That was pretty good.
We didn't even want to win this game, but Florida State's incompetence allowed for it. Notre Dame -3 against Miami. Notre Dame's for real. Miami is really playing well. Best game of the year this past weekend against Virginia Tech. I haven't thought Miami was that good this year, but I commend them for winning all of the close games that they have. The luck runs out here. Notre Dame's just better. Give me Notre Dame -3 on the road against Miami. And then finally, an easy one in college. Clemson -16 against the Noles. I'll give the 16 all day. Be surprised if we keep it within 24. In the NFL, Dallas +3 against Atlanta. Cowboys playing as well, if not better than anybody in the NFL, not named the Eagles. So I'll take Dallas +3 against Atlanta on the road.
Looks like they'll have Zeke again.
Just for the year, guys. Just for the year.
That's what it looks like. There was one reporter who was at the hearing, and it went about 35 minutes today, and the judge said, well, the NFL was in no rush to suspend you for 5 months. So the reporter thinks, well, they might not be in any rush to rule on whatever the hell the hearing was for today.
It is fascinating the way this is played out. Roger Goodell with a lot on his plate right now, as he's got owners, powerful ones, that say, hold on, all this extension and raise nonsense.
Now there's a development there, too. Apparently he's getting said extension. So Jerry Jones might go 1-1 on the day. Get his player, but not get what he wants for Roger Goodell.
Packers versus Bears under 38. Two putridly sorry teams going head-to-head. An all-time classic rivalry to play out in poor form, as these quarterbacks aren't any good. We'll go under 38.
It's a good pick.
Hope that final score is 6-3. 6-3, maybe some sloppy cold weather.
None of that college football nonsense where you go 3 overtimes to get the over.
No, none of that.
None of that.
None of that nonsense. Those are bad beats, Tom.
Oh.
Those are bad beats. We're going to overtime, are we? Great. I said under 30, the game is tied at 10, and I'm going to get screwed. That's the worst. It is, and it makes me angry. And if you can't tell, I've had it happen.
Final 20-17.
Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 overtimes.
Sure it is. Sure it is. Pay me my money. You know I won that bet. Pay the money. That's ridiculous. 6-6 at the end of regulation. Final score 48-41. You see those games. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It's nonsense.
Yeah. No, actually, I escaped one earlier this year when it was Florida-Tennessee, and I had the under in that game.
And
Right. Well, that saved me because if they go to overtime, I'm not going to win that
No,
thing.
you're not going to win that.
And that game was ridiculous anyway because there's 28, 30 points in the fourth quarter out of nowhere.
Well, and Tennessee could have scored 3 touchdowns inside the 5 if they decided to do the right thing and run the football.
Well, if they did that, that game would have hit the under 2 because then Florida packs it in and Tennessee just runs the ball the rest of the game. But anyway, Felipe Franks, thank you for one thing this year.
That was a hell of a throw. I will also say that I am counting now that Florida has just quit, and because if they do show up and bother to try real hard against South Carolina, they could win that game. South Carolina on offense does not run the ball effectively. In fact, they're one of the worst in all of college football. So if you make them one-dimensional, obviously Florida has the athletes to do something about it, get to the quarterback. They should win the game. By all rights, they should win the game. But we've been saying this about Florida State for some time. Florida State is a similar team. Look at the matchup against Boston College, and you go, yeah, Florida State should win the game. But there are other elements at play here, and I think that's true with Florida.
Yeah, if Florida cared, then it's a field goal game, and so you don't want to touch it, unless you're taking the Florida side of things, which you never would do anyway, because how can you trust them?
Right? Oh, no, right. If it's based on talent, I'm taking Florida all day long against South Carolina, but I can't trust that that's the case right now. Later in the program, the 5 o'clock hour, Walt Deptula will join us on the show. He covers Clemson and does a daily radio show up there in South Carolina, 105.5 The Roar. He'll join us in that 5 o'clock hour to discuss this matchup. Normally, we get to dive deep into this thing and look at individual matchups and or elements of the game we think are favoring their team or our team or somewhere in between. But instead, this will be kind of a big picture talk. And again, I may be a little too dismissive for some of your liking. I'm sure I've rubbed people the wrong way this week and that I've chosen to focus in on the missteps of Jimbo Fisher and some of the inefficiencies of Florida State's offense and decisions, along with the plight of a program that is at a crossroads here moving forward because important decisions still have to be made. And ordinarily you like to focus in on, hey, this is a rivalry game. Yeah, we're down, but we got a chance to win this game. We have the athletes to win this game, and that's true. We do. I just don't think we have any chance to win the game because I don't think that Florida State is going to be able to block it up. And once you can't block it up, I'm done talking about it.
Famous coach once said, that's a hell of a thing.
Yeah, it is a hell of a thing to not be able to block it up. That's a familiar refrain and one that has us all very, very aggravated. I mean, all you got to do is start talking about Florida State in the middle of the offseason, and the very first retort has something to do with our offensive line. Anything. Somehow
it's like some sort of PA system for, the sauce. It says, hey, I'm in your cabinet up here.
Yeah.
Maybe you want some of me.
Yeah, it is. It's,
usually I'm a faint whisper, but you can hear me pretty clearly, can't you?
I'm tasty. Come get me. Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and the full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Stock by November 30th, 2017. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for complete details.
Don't throw that can away. You can make some extra cash by simply bringing it to the annual Cans for Cash event. In an ongoing effort to reduce waste and landfill space, the City of Tallahassee and Keep Tallahassee Beautiful are teaming up again to host the Cans for Cash recycling event on Saturday, November 11th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the outdoor living side of Home Depot parking lot at 3200 Capitol Circle Northeast. Participants will receive 30 cents per pound for aluminum cans collected. Electronic scrap such as broken computers and TVs can also be brought for recycling as a courtesy. No payment will be provided for these items. Join the City of Tallahassee and Keep Tallahassee Beautiful on Saturday, November 11th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Home Depot located at 3200 Capitol Circle Northeast to cash in those cans. For more information about recycling and other city solid waste services, visit talgov.com/YOU or call 891-4968.
Can't decide between fresh steak, seafood, or wings? Well, Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway has it all. From center-cut sirloin and original pastas to fresh salads and favorites like Miller's Signature Zingers, tossed in your favorite sauce. Miller's Ale House has a full-service bar featuring more than 75 beers, plus wine and liquors. Bring the family to watch the big game inside or on their covered patio on one of over 60 HD TVs. However you come to relax, you will have a good time and great food at Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway.
Woohoo! Banditos!
Huh? Where?
Banditos burritos, baby.
At the Home Depot, we know communities are more than bricks and mortar. They're people. And we're part of your community too. So in the wake of Hurricane Irma, we're here to help. We have essential items in the front of the store, making it easy for you to get what you need, quickly. We're doing our best to keep those supplies in stock. And of course, we're maintaining the same everyday low prices. Because when our community needs us, the Home Depot is here to help.
Beef O'Brady's Burgers Across America with Des Moines Triple Bacon, Green Bay's 5-Cheeser, or the Memphis Love Me Tender. All made with premium blend Angus. Pick any two for just $17. Beefs, but your Angus, it's good.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Always strikes me as interesting because it happens in reverse when we're the favorite in a matchup against a named team that over the years has provided stiff competition and maybe caused some heartache. If you read my inbox or look online, you'll see where Clemson fans are kind of, well, yeah, we should win, and I understand why we're heavily favored, and I think we will win. But most of the time, there's this caveat towards the end of that discussion, which is, but I think Florida State will show up this weekend and play more like the team we thought they would be before the season began. And this could be a little nerve-wracking into the second half. That's kind of the viewpoint from the average Clemson fan that I'm hearing from now. And meanwhile, if you've been on the wrong end of these 5 losses and the injuries that mounted kind of marrying to provide a nightmarish outcome, then you feel like this is an ass beating. Like, just the mindset going into the game. And I know when it's clicking, when it's going right for Florida State, when we're playing well, when we've been really good, all you can do is look out there to try to find pitfalls that would ruin an otherwise promising season. And when you do that, you're looking for teams that have the requisite talent. Maybe the year hasn't gone well, or scheme that bothers you or matches up well with you or poorly. And there's always a game where you go, styles make fights. We're not real good at this. They do that well. Could be a problem. It's a road game, etc., whatever it might be. And so it's interesting for me to hear that because this isn't one of those. We don't block well. They rush the passer extremely well. And so when you hear that, that's just solely the garnet and the gold, man. That's the jersey. That's the spear. That's the history of a rivalry that Florida State has owned Clemson. Not as of late, but historically speaking. So, yeah, that's what that is. And it's interesting to hear it, and to be on the wrong side of it is not pleasant.
No, I agree. It's a fundamental take, but it's one that affects everything. It affects field position.
It affects what you can call.
Right. And even though you have Jaquez Patrick, this is kind of like the Alabama game in this sense. I thought we did well, with blocking it up in the Alabama game. But you don't have Dickerson. You don't have Kelly. So the left side of your line, that was the strength. They're both out. Well, actually, I don't know about Kelly. I shouldn't say that. That's reckless. But
reckless.
Well, I mean,
minor misstep.
Minor misstep. Fine. But if he's out, then you don't have the left side of your line, or if he's not at 100%. And then the right side of your line isn't something you're writing home about anyway to begin this year. So how are you going to establish balance? How are you going to establish, being ahead of the chains with Jaquez Patrick and Cam Akers? That's pretty tough to do. And then obviously your quarterback isn't likely to have all that much time either. Jaquez Patrick being in there for pass protection purposes does help you some. Yeah, it does. But, I mean, I don't know what exactly you can scheme to expect to score somewhere in the mid-20s here if you're Jimbo. You have to hope like hell the defense holds this thing down, and it's an ugly game. I mean, 13-10 late into the third quarter, akin to the way the 2015 game kind of played out. But then your linebackers have to play really, really well. The second level of your defense has to account for the quarterback and make sure that anything they do with misdirection, you're not attacking the same gap the way that Louisville gashed us for how many times. There's a lot of dominoes that you have to stack up just right, and then so they all fall in line for you to have a chance to win this game.
Well, and it's just hard to imagine that they will. And listen, stranger things have happened. We've seen bigger upsets. It's just that I'm not calling for that. Don't think it's going to happen. And it's funny, you get so many you get what happens is you get these moments where people are able to express their frustrations and talk about what has happened, and then at the same time, if you do it too much, they begin to resent it and talk about, well, you're giving me no hope. Well, yeah, listen, the season has rendered us in this to this place where you have none against a team of this caliber because of the problems you have. It's not all coaching. This isn't all bashing for the sake of bashing. There are injuries and there are matchup problems combined to provide a really nightmarish scenario in which a true freshman quarterback is on the road in an environment that he's never faced before. I mean, let's think about that for a second. James Blackman has had to go on the road against Wake Forest, nothing atmosphere, Snuggy Hill, on the road at Duke. Nobody cares about football at Duke. And he's been on the road at Boston College. Again, nobody cares about football at Boston College. So he hasn't faced anything like what he's going to face from an atmosphere standpoint. And the energy and all of that comes with it, like he's going to feel against Clemson this week. And now you go in there and you look at this defensive line, which is just so impressive week in and week out, dominates games, changes games, renders powerful offenses impotent, let alone our sorry-ass offense, which is ranked 119th in scoring this year. Yeah. I mean, that's a tough thing to think that you're going to overcome.
119th. That's a hell of a thing.
119th is scoring offense, right?
Yeah, the only Power 5 team worse is Illinois.
Mm-hmm. One team in the entire country is worse.
Power 5, yep.
Yeah, in the Power 5, right? Well,
yeah. No, there are 11 others that are,
Yeah.
But Kansas is in front of us. They score more points a game.
So, but that's the Big 12 where nobody guards anybody. But I'm just saying that's
Kansas.
I'm just saying, though. I mean, anybody would have. I mean, if you put any team in the Big 12, they're going to score. But that's, I mean, woo. Well, again, that's not even – I'm not even coming at it right now from the angle of, hey, one more chance to take a shot. No, that's what we are. We're 119th. What do you want me to do?
No, man. The only thing I said when I was stacking those things together about coaching was 2 linebackers in the same gap or 2 second-level –
That happens all the time.
Yeah, but the rest of it is you're just plainly not good enough right now. You're not healthy enough. You're not experienced enough. You're not good enough on offense.
Not on offense. You're talented enough on defense. But then again, we go down this road. It ends up – that question begets another, which gets you to a place where you go, why? Why are we in that place?
Bend over.
It's got me. It's you don't like the idea that you're one injury away from having to turn to certain guys.
Right.
I'm just not even going to call certain people out
Now,
here. I'm just saying that's what happens.
Technically, it's 3, but a couple of them happened in the preseason, so you're 1. But your point taken. The whole thing about 2015 in the recruiting class that came in was, okay, the cavalry's here, guys. First of all, we can field a practice with 4 teams on 4, on 2 different fields, and you have enough offensive linemen to work all 4. And the depth that we're going to establish here, man, okay, I guess. Not really. I mean, where was that? Where is the product of those competitions? Where is that? Because the O-line was not the problem in the beginning of the season. It was not. Then Wake Forest happened, and it's been woefully inconsistent since.
Here's your game plan. Your game plan is to put the offense in safe situations, limit choices, try to do things that are of minimal risk, and play field position. Okay. So you do that. You're asking your young quarterback to just execute a very simple game plan. Now, Clemson's good, and there are going to be plays that get blown up. And in those moments, you just have to accept your loss, live to fight another day, and punt when you have to punt. You got a good punter. He's capable of having good days. He needs to have a good day here. You turn it back over to the defense. I understand you're rolling your eyes right now. If this defense can shut down Clemson's running game, which is amongst the nation's best, and I'm incorporating Kelly Bryant in the running game because they do a lot. And he's a big kid, an extra back they have to stop. They got, if you include him, 3+ guys at 200+ yards on the season. They have a variety of backs.
Guys that you want to have to tackle. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
you don't know. You got to show up. I don't think that's going to be a problem here. They'll be willing to stick their head in there because of fear of embarrassment, I think. If not, then it's a blowout of epic proportions. Now, you shut down the run game. Here's the deal with Kelly Bryant. When you watch him play, he was virtually 0 in throws over 15 yards. Yeah, he was 0. He went 0 for 7 last week against NC State and throws over 15 yards. Throwing the ball down the field on the year, it's like 16 of 45 or whatever he is, I think I read.
Mm-hmm.
He's been not very good. Now, he's got an arm, but he's not real accurate down the field. So he tends to throw the intermediate to short route. They want to run the football. You got to take him out of that and force him to throw the ball down the field against a talented secondary when they care to show up. So then you create turnovers. I don't think you create pressures because we win a lot of first and second downs and put people behind the chains. We just never actually get to the quarterback on 3rd and long. That said, if you're monitoring him and you don't want him to take off and run and you want to take away a lot of that short stuff, you do want to get him to throw the ball down the field. That's fine. Let him throw the ball down the field. I mean, hopefully you create opportunities for turnovers. And you play this game in the teens, and you put game pressure on them because this is, in essence, their in a weird way, this is their ticket. Now, obviously, they're going to have to win an ACC championship game, but if they win this game, they're in position to win the conference, the ACC, that is, for the 3rd consecutive year. They haven't done that since the late 80s. This is a golden time for them, right? And they want that desperately, and they're in a position to overcome that loss to Syracuse. But they got to win this game. So there's a lot on it, and I feel like if you can get them thinking about things other than the next play, about what's at stake a little bit more than executing a play. And the only way you can do that is to get this game late in the 3rd, early in the 4th, one-possession game where a mistake could cost you dearly, where a decision or a drop pass, whatever it might be, something that could have major implications, the weight of that begins to dance around your brain. This is all a lot easier said than done, and I've just laid out a lot of things that have to happen. But it's entirely possible with a defense that shows up the way that it did against Alabama that you do create some of those situations that I just described, and it's entirely possible to play safe on offense, protect your quarterback, play field position, and try to get some points in the red zone when you get that rare opportunity.
But they're going to have the heart to do it, you know what I mean? Because I think the problem here is in stacking this hypothetical situation, hypothetical game up together. Man, how consistently are we going to move the football?
No, we're not.
You don't want to run pace and tempo this weekend. You want to shorten the game here. So our natural speed is probably the speed you want to play. Every first down's a big damn deal because it gets that clock moving. But, I mean, to me, I think you're asking the defense if you're going to get into that 4th quarter, let's just say, end of the 3rd. All right, so you played 45 minutes of football. How much time is the defense going to be on the field in that scenario? 24, 25 minutes, you know?
Yeah, they're going to have to be
upwards of
stout.
30.
Listen, you got Delaware State next week, man.
They got the Citadel next week, too.
You know, but no, I'm not. My point is that this is your season. This is it. You don't really play again in any meaningful way until you play Florida, who may have completely quit by the time you face them. Anyhow, that's a different dog for a different day. Listen, you got Delaware State next week, so you got nothing. You can play every backup you have next week. So here's the deal, man. This is it. Bow up. Do whatever you got to do. I mean, lay it all on the line now. It's not like I'm not saying they're going to win the game, just for people wondering. But this would be the time to lay it out there like it's the last game you're ever going to play. And maybe, just maybe, you do the unthinkable and put yourself in a position to get a win on the road against Clemson in a season where that didn't seem very likely. But you got to get in that position. And all of those things have to happen just to have a chance.
Yeah, point blank, it has to be a duplicate effort from the Alabama game.
Without question. You know, you think back on that game and how proud we were after that game of this defense in particular, where Alabama gets the ball 5 consecutive possessions inside your 50, and you bowed up. You know, you really did play with the kind of effort that could make us all proud, even in a loss. We walked out of there and went, all right.
Way to go, Charles. You got them playing.
Right. We were really, really impressed. And that's what I'll tell you. I mean, I feel like that's what's going to have to play out here for Florida State to have a chance. And I just think it's unlikely because it is an awful lot to ask. Let's not forget, Clemson's awfully talented. And they make plays too. But maybe you catch them assuming some things here and you get off to a good start, something happens. You got playmakers, man. Who knows? Cam makes a guy miss in a phone booth, breaks a tackle, goes 65, and whoa, we're in business. We got a little something going on here. So if you're looking for hope, that's where the hope lies. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and the full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Domestic drafts, $2.75 domestic bottles, and $4 Jaeger bombs. No weekend would be complete without Bubbles and Brunch. From 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., get all the mimosas and Bloody Marys you can drink and a breakfast for $18.99. Can you say Uber? Knowles, Bucks, Jags, or Finns, no matter who your favorite team is, take it to 2033 North Monroe Street and watch them at Tallahassee's favorite football hangout, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, introducing Nissan's Express Service.
Express Service means oil changes in 45 minutes or less.
With no appointment necessary. Here's how it works. When you come to Kraft Nissan for an oil change, you're greeted by a dedicated Express Service advisor. Sign the advisor's iPad and have a seat in our waiting room. A team of 2 lube technicians will immediately take your car directly to service and complete the oil change. And remember, Kraft Nissan services all makes and models. We sell tires for less. Compare us to the box stores and compare us to the tire stores. We'll beat their price. Plus, new tires come with free rotations for the life of the tires. We also have our Value Advantage line of parts that are priced to compete with aftermarket and parts stores, but still have full Nissan factory warranty. So competitively priced that Kraft Nissan will give you a 30-day price match guarantee in writing. And we offer the Kraft Nissan service card, same as cash for 6 months on purchases over $299.
So give us a try. Oil changes in 45 minutes or less and no appointment necessary. Just stop by.
Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Service card with approved credit.
Do you like video games, live music, dancing, and having fun with your friends? Swing by the new Fire Betty's, located in Midtown on Thomasville Road and 5th Avenue. Not only can you quench your thirst, but now Fire Betty's offers a new fun food menu as well. Open Tuesday through Saturday from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m., there's something fun going on every night. From trivia on Wednesdays to live music on Fridays, hospitality nights on Thursdays, and unique music video DJ Saturdays. Come take a trip down memory lane and make some new ones too. Happy hour at Fire Betty's is Tuesday through Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. And don't forget about Sunday Fun Day with the NFL Red Zone, liquid brunch and drink specials all day, starting at 3 p.m. For catering or private parties, message Fire Betty's on Facebook.
Don't throw that can away. You can make some extra cash by simply bringing it to the annual Cans for Cash event. In an ongoing effort to reduce waste and landfill space, the City of Tallahassee and Keep Tallahassee Beautiful are teaming up again to host the Cans for Cash recycling event on Saturday, November 11th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the outdoor living side of Home Depot parking lot at 3200 Capitol Circle Northeast. Participants will receive 30 cents per pound for aluminum cans collected. Electronic scrap such as broken computers and TVs can also be brought for recycling as a courtesy. No payment will be provided for these items. Join the City of Tallahassee and Keep Tallahassee Beautiful on Saturday, November 11th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Home Depot located at 3200 Capitol Circle Northeast to cash in those cans. For more information about recycling and other city solid waste services, visit talgov.com/YOU or call 891-4968.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott is appearing in a New York courtroom today for a 3-judge appeal hearing. Elliott is still fighting his 6-game suspension after domestic violence allegations. A decision could come quickly, perhaps by tonight or tomorrow. Elliott plans to be at practice tomorrow. NFL spokesman Joe Lockhart says the contract extension for Commissioner Roger Goodell should be wrapped up soon, in spite of a threat from Cowboys owner Jerry Jones to sue the league. The Colts cut cornerback Vontae Davis today. Davis needs groin surgery. He was not happy with the way the team left him behind for Sunday's game against the Texans, saying it was non-injury related. Cavaliers guard Derrick Rose will miss tonight's game against the Rockets. He's still having problems with a sore left ankle. This will be the 5th game that Rose has missed because of the ankle this season. Former Yankees players and current broadcasters David Cohn and John Flaherty are both interested in the team's managing job. The Yankees interviewed their first candidate yesterday, bench coach Rob Thompson.
Sports Center is brought to you by JCPenney. Guys, Wednesday through Saturday, select Doctor's Signature khakis are just $36.99. Or get 50% off select Arizona and St. John's Bay apparel. Plus, get $10 off with coupon when you spend $25 or more. JCPenney.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautowworld.com.
Tom Lang, you didn't watch Ohio destroyed Toledo last night. Did you watch a little Maction last night?
No, I stayed away.
I know we won 5-1.
I wanted to save all my football watching love for this weekend, Jeff, because that 3:30 game is going to take all the heart and soul I can offer.
Toledo, fewest points since week 1 of 2013 versus Florida, but that's not why I bring it up. I bring it up because Logan Woodside did throw a touchdown, his 58th all-time. You know who he's now tied with in the Toledo record books, Tom Lang? There's a reason I brought it up.
I do not know.
Bruce Gradkowski, buddy.
Oh!
Yay! How about that?
Oh, man, is he still employed?
Maybe third string somewhere.
He was like the Steelers' backup quarterback for years and years.
Who knows? I just thought I'd
Look
give
it
you
up.
Just thought I'd give you a little info that would make you smile. Also, you already know this, but Kucherov scored his 15th goal of the year, and that's the most in the NHL.
Bruce Gradkowski is now a free agent, so he's not.
He could be picked up by anybody.
He could be.
We could use him in Tampa right about now. So we do have football tonight. I loosely say we have football tonight. Seahawks have not had back-to-back losses in an awfully long time. I think you got to go back to 2015, and they're looking to avoid that. I was looking at some numbers earlier today at these two sorry-ass teams. Arizona is the opponent, if you're wondering. Yeah, that's what you get in the little Thursday night football matchup. 8:25 Seattle, which lost to Washington last week, has not lost back-to-back games. I got that right. Weeks 5 and 6, 2015. That's the longest active streak in the National Football League without consecutive losses.
Sounds about right, but that offensive line's capable of putting you in a position to lose to anybody at any time.
Amazingly so, the Seahawks are 10-0 in games immediately following a loss. They're like, no.
Well, that
this
makes
aggression
sense.
will not stand, man.
That makes sense if they haven't lost consecutive games.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that's like for an offensive line that putrid, they don't lose back-to-back games, no matter how bad it is.
There you go. Breaking news for Zeke Elliott. The 6-game suspension is back on. So there it is.
So he is suspended.
Injunction denied.
All right. Well, there's that. You remember how, and I'm going to be that guy that ends up doing this every day, and somebody goes, would you just leave the young man alone and let him develop? Lonzo Ball last night against the Celtics, 3 of 11 against Celtics defenders in half-court plays, 1 of 3 in contested attempts, all three-pointers, 3 of 10 inside the paint, did not attempt a free throw. That's the 5th game this year in which he didn't make it to the free throw line. He is shooting 34% in the paint this year. That is the worst of any player in the NBA. There's nobody worse than Lonzo Ball in the paint. He's shooting 25% from outside the paint. That makes him 127th out of 128 players. He's dead-ass last in the paint and second to last outside of it. I'm just saying, Tom, 2 fingers to my eyes, 2 fingers back to you, Lonzo. You
can't put the fingers to the eyes if you're not even going to watch him, though. Nobody's watching him right now. Nobody's turning that game on.
The numbers are the numbers, whether I watch them or not.
That's what I'm saying.
What I'm telling you, when you are worst at something in the entire league and second worst at something else in the entire league, and you are a first-round pick, it makes people go, well, what did LA do? What have we done?
Here would be my statistical argument that the Seahawks offensive line has been worse than Mr. Ball has been so far in his rookie campaign. Listen to this number. This is crazy.
Okay.
Set of numbers. The reliance on Russell Wilson to throw the football over the years. Remember when he first came into the league, they didn't really throw the ball much at all down the field. All right, so in 2012, his rookie season, he averaged 24.6 passes per game. Pretty pedestrian. It has steadily increased every year by 1, then 3, then 2, then 4, and now up to 37.9 passes a game. He's damn near Eli Manning territory.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
They can't run the football. They haven't since beast mode has been gone. Balance has left with it.
Yeah, and they had other injuries at the running back position. So it's they thought they were getting something. I think it was Carson that was running with them early, and then he got hurt on an innocuous play at the end of the game of a blowout.
Quite the testament to his skill set.
Right after I had picked him up.
So that's why you had an extra. I was wondering what's the extra nugget he's going to throw in there?
I was watching the game when it happened, and I went, okay, that's what we're going to do here. Maybe it was Kaysen. I can't remember what that guy's name was.
It's quite the testament, though, to their defense and what Russell can do with any time at all that, they're over 500 and he has to throw the ball 38 times a game.
38 times a game. It's also a testament to ineptitude when Lonzo Ball
back and forth we go,
is shooting 29%, which is the second lowest field goal percentage over a player's first 11 career games in the NBA in the shot clock era, 1954 to 55. Man, you can't tell me you're not intrigued by this nightmare. That's awesome.
His dad got him paid either way.
I know he did, but I so loathe his dad that I'm like, yeah, all right. Son's kicking ass there, isn't he? And it's not the kid's fault at all. Wow.
Well, they'll just continue to do SportsCenter bits where he and Stephen A. Smith yell at each other. He may end up being great. Who knows? I mean, I am half tongue-in-cheek here, but those numbers are staggering. I think there's probably somebody in the Lakers front office going, well, good Lord.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and the full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Here to help. We have essential items in the front of the store, making it easy for you to get what you need, quickly. We're doing our best to keep those supplies in stock. And of course, we're maintaining the same everyday low prices. Because when our community needs us, the Home Depot is here to help.
Right now at Kohl's, get ready for the holidays and get Kohl's Cash for you. Get $10 Kohl's Cash for every $50 you spend. Get a 40-piece Food Network dinnerware set for $69.99 and get $10 Kohl's Cash. Or a 10-piece cookware set for $149.99 and get $30 Kohl's Cash. Get a Shark vacuum for $399.99 and you'll get $80 Kohl's Cash. Earn Kohl's Cash on everything. Spend it on anything. Give joy, get joy, right now at Kohl's. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Did you guys know this about Yu Darvish? Because Guillermo just very lightly placed in front of me something from Yu Darvish Twitter. And when you ask, why didn't the Asian controversy of Gurriel manifest into something larger? Here is what helped. Quote, no one is perfect. That includes both you and I. What he had done today isn't right, but I believe we should put our effort into learning rather than to accuse him. If we can take something from this is a giant step for mankind. Since we are living in such a wonderful world, let's stay positive and move forward instead of focusing on anger. I'm counting on everyone's big love.
You know what? During these troubling times, these tricky times, we need someone like you, Darvish.
Good job by who?
You.
Thank you.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. So there's going to be a sky cam in use here. The camera is suspended by wires over the field. They did that during the New England Patriots Atlanta Falcons Sunday night game because of the fog situation. It was well received by viewers, many of whom see it as a Madden angle from playing the popular video game. NBC heard the feedback and decided to feature the sky cam for the primary angle for its Week 11 Thursday night broadcast. The network announcing today that it will utilize the dual Skycam system for the Titans-Steelers matchup. Good game, actually. On November the 16th. So next week, that's what you get. Excited to present a game with the majority of live-action coverage coming from Skycam. That, according to the executive producer for NBC Sunday Night Football and Thursday Night Football games. After pivoting out of necessity to Skycam in New England, we've been aggressively planning and testing with the intent of utilizing the system for a full game this year. Younger generations of NFL fans have grown accustomed to watching games this way through their love of video games. How about that?
Yeah, but it also gives you a much better idea of what's going on in the trenches. And you can see the 2 deep or 1 deep safety look, 3 high, whatever it is. You get to see coverages and trench play. It's the best way to go.
This telecast will have a look and feel akin to that experience, meaning the Madden experience. We still have our full complement of cameras and will revert to traditional coverage when situations dictate that, but the primary viewing experience of this game will come from the Skycam. Thursday Night Football has always been about technical innovation and new technologies, and this production will fit that bill perfectly. They used some in that Raiders-Dolphins game as well, if you remember, because of the temporary smoky conditions because of the halftime fireworks.
And then there was fog in the second half. Real bad.
Yeah. We could do without all this fireworks stuff at halftime anyhow. What the hell are we doing, man? Good Lord. Not everything has to be a massive production. Just play some damn football. Let's go. That said, I do welcome the Skycam view.
But honestly, short of the Skycam, which we've seen Monday Night Football experiment with over the years for certain plays, kickoff returns, whatever. But for the preseason,
this mic half to hell.
What did that mic ever do to you?
Somebody's driving down the road.
That was a
I give it a shot.
Combo.
I'll get you some of that, Mike.
I was getting lost.
Tired
in
of
thought,
these fireworks, Tom.
Bing, bing. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm looking at the strings here. Did mine pop? Or
I punched my mic by accident.
For the Bucs-Cincinnati game, that was Jameis rookie year, and there were a couple of plays. Man, I kind of prefer this. I get a better idea of what's happening.
What's happening, yeah. Coach, almost like a coach's view.
But aren't your eyes drawn to the screen? Because I know mine are. When college football games have a much up high, play-by-play camera view versus the down low kind of sideline-esque view, because then you can have an idea of spacing.
Well,
some offensive line play, requires different spacing than others. I mean,
that's why I also get on the roof when I watch our games, because I'm trying to find something akin to the All-22s as quickly as possible, and get something that allows me to notice all 11 moving in concert, so I have an idea of who blew their assignment or who executed or who blew up a play.
Yeah, that was something I learned an appreciation for much earlier in life with hockey. We had upper deck seats for one season after having closer seats.
See plays develop.
It makes all the difference in the world. I don't care what the players' expressions look like if I can see what's going on.
Right. I'll worry about players' expressions when I'm watching on TV. If I'm at the game, I want to see things develop as they are and kind of get something in totality that gives me a better read on the situation, where the advantages and disadvantages lie within a certain line. In the case of hockey or in football, obviously, whether it's a matchup on the edges or even within the trenches, you get a view of that early and often when you sit up on high. I can't stand sitting down low.
Yeah.
Now I'll give you that you get a better feel for the emotions and the energy and the physicality of a football game when you're down low. But up high is a better way to view it in terms of matchups. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and the full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
FranksAutoWorld.com, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at FranksAutoWorld.com.
Beef O'Brady's 2 for $20. The only hard part is choosing. First, pick a starter to share. Then pick 2 entrees like grilled shrimp and a steak bowl. All for $20. Beef O'Brady's, where 2 for $20 gets you plenty.
Hey, handsome, what's happening?
I'm ready for a beer, my man. How are you?
I am fantastic. This weather is beautiful.
Perfect, and I have a question for you. Snow cone or candy apple?
Ooh, both are sticky.
Both are tasty.
Candy apple.
No, that's the wrong answer. Halloween or Thanksgiving?
Ooh, one is sweet and the other one's savory. I'm going Thanksgiving.
Again, 16 Candles or Back to the Future?
Oh, my goodness. John Hughes or what's that boy's name? Marty McFly? I'm going 16 Candles.
Papa Grande with a Gordo smash. And by the way, I want that. Or a mountain of delicious croquetas, also with a Gordo smash.
Trick question. Either way, you're not going to lose.
Exactamundo, my brother. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, introducing Nissan's Express Service.
Express Service means oil changes in 45 minutes or less.
With no appointment necessary. Here's how it works. When you come to Kraft Nissan for an oil change, you're greeted by a dedicated Express Service advisor. Sign the advisor's iPad and have a seat in our waiting room. A team of 2 lube technicians will immediately take your car directly to service and complete the oil change. And remember, Kraft Nissan services all makes and models. We sell tires for less. Compare us to the box stores and compare us to the tire stores. We'll beat their price. Plus, new tires come with free rotations for the life of the tires. We also have our Value Advantage line of parts that are priced to compete with aftermarket and parts stores, but still have full Nissan factory warranty. So competitively priced that Kraft Nissan will give you a 30-day price match guarantee in writing. And we offer the Kraft Nissan service card, same as cash for 6 months on purchases over $299.
So give us a try. Oil changes in 45 minutes or less and no appointment necessary. Just stop by.
Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Service card with approved credit.
This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott is appearing in a New York courtroom today for a 3-judge appeal hearing. Elliott is still fighting his 6-game suspension after domestic violence allegations. A decision could come quickly, perhaps by tonight or tomorrow. Elliott plans to be at practice tomorrow. NFL spokesman Joe Lockhart says the contract extension for Commissioner Roger Goodell should be wrapped up soon, in spite of a threat from Cowboys owner Jerry Jones to sue the league. The Colts cut cornerback Vontae Davis today. Davis needs groin surgery. He was not happy with the way the team left him behind for Sunday's game against the Texans, saying it was non-injury related. Cavaliers guard Derrick Rose will miss tonight's game against the Rockets. He's still having problems with a sore left ankle. This will be the 5th game that Rose has missed because of the ankle this season. Former Yankees players and current broadcasters David Cohn and John Flaherty are both interested in the team's managing job. The Yankees interviewed their first candidate yesterday, bench coach Rob Thompson.
Sports Center is brought to you by JCPenney. Guys, Wednesday through Saturday, select Doctor's Signature khakis are just $36.99. Or get 50% off select Arizona and St. John's Bay apparel. Plus, get $10 off with coupon when you spend $25 or more. JCPenney.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautowworld.com.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Happy Redemption Thursday, everybody. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We are always online, ESPNTallahassee.com. You know, by the way, there's a chance, if you look at this, Mark Fields, Marcus Edmond, A.J. Terrell were guys that got hurt for Clemson in that secondary against NC State. They could be seriously limited in that secondary. We'll continue to look at this. I don't know if we're in a position to take advantage of that because you got to let plays develop down the field, and I don't know that we can block it up. But you may get some good news going into this game regarding some kids that, and I don't wish anybody injury, but if they're out, they're out, and you have to have an opportunity, or you may have an opportunity to take advantage of it. Get some of your bigger receivers down the field against some of their replacements, including a 5'7" former 2-star player and receiver that's been converted to a corner.
Well, to me, it's obviously all about blocking it up, but Jimbo is good for scheming something wide open every game, be it, some sort of backside throw, the wheel route, a screen pass that is perfectly timed in the course of a game. Not a tunnel screen, but a halfback screen pass. And then a shot down the field where you go, well, he got him open. So maybe he does.
Jimbo, the play caller, is not somebody I've called out this year. I don't do that because I don't really think. First of all, play calling is one of these catch-all phrases people like to fall back on or at least to blame. They love to say that he's a poor play caller. When a play works, it's a poor play. When a play doesn't work, it's a poor play call in the eyes of a lot of people. And when a play works, that's a brilliant play call. And sometimes it's simply just not true on either account. You could get lucky. A guy could fall down. It could have been a bad play call, and it worked out well. It could be a great play call, and somebody makes a hell of a play and blows it up, but it was the right call at the right time, and you had what you needed, and something happened that caused it to backfire. So I don't tend to look at him as a play caller and complain ever. I actually think he does a pretty good job with that. Now, the pace in which we play sometimes I call into question. Game plans, everybody second guesses about every coach in football across the board, no matter how much how great they think the coach is. I mean, I did wonder what we were doing coming off the Duke game. We come out of that against Louisville and BC. We're in the shotgun, and we really can't block it up. So I do wonder about that. You expose your quarterback. Again, somebody could counter that. That's fine. I don't really worry about that. Our inability to do certain things is what I've been very concerned with, whether that's convert on third down, which we really struggled with last week, And by the way, allowing for it to happen on the other side of the ball, which is everybody's big concern.
Well, you're talking on Tuesday night after we finished the Man Cave show, and I forget who it was, but it was somebody we were talking to, brought back up about the 17 tackles for loss against Wake. And, it feels fictional now.
Wash around the clock, Mr. Dan.
Oh, that was Dan from Wash Around the Clock.
That's
okay.
right.
And
Easy Laundry.
That's right. Well, you'll hear about that in just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, even though I just watched it like a month ago, 6 weeks ago, whatever it was, it feels fictional that was possible.
On the 30th of September is when you watched that happen.
So there you go. Right about 6 weeks, 6 weeks time.
Yeah, it was frustrating as all hell. They set a record.
Yeah.
Their record, a record for most tackles for loss, yeah.
And that's why no matter what you draw up, you're going to have a fundamental issue if you have efforts like that. Now, they did respond in subsequent weeks, and they played better than that, but there have been moments where they look kind of like that Wake Forest offensive line and not so much the offensive line we saw hold up decently against Alabama in week 1 of the season. But I think, to me, game planning is a bigger problem or a bigger issue than play calling.
Yeah, play calling isn't something that I'm really...
You can only call plays from the game plan. Yeah. You know what I mean? Unless you abandon it altogether.
I actually think he's a good play caller. And for all the discussion we've had of the various things that we're griping about or frustrated by or wished hadn't happened or wished he didn't say or do, whatever. That's not one of them. That's the least of my concerns whatsoever. And if it's about play calling, then I think we're in good hands. But in terms of being able to execute what is being asked physically in this matchup, I think we have big problems.
But also mentally, I think that's something that's changed. Even in the good years, Jimbo would talk about, a receiver ran a wrong route, the sighted just wasn't the same, or you know what I mean? He cut it off too quickly, or whatever it is about where somebody was supposed to be and they didn't hit their assignment. On the one hand, I'm very thankful that there's transparency there. On the other hand, you hear it about offensive linemen, about receivers or running back or whatever it is. And you think, are we the only team in the country that has this many particular issues consistently? Because now that you're in 3-5, 2-5 last week, but now you're 3-5, man, I hear those same things, and it makes me all the more angry.
Well, it rings hollow when you're 3-5. One thing to say, though, about that, Tom, is I think here's the deal. You do a lot of film watching. I do, too. Now, we don't have the coaches' film. But, technology has really helped out anybody in this regard. If you want to, start with the space bar.
Mm-hmm.
Is an amazing thing. You can really watch every position on the line, especially when you get certain angles. And you can just from the coverage of breaking down a condensed version of a game on YouTube, for example.
Better than nothing.
You can still find a lot of interesting nuggets, but if you do it for other teams, if you do it for a team not named Florida State, you'll note that, there are breakdowns on every play. You don't win every individual matchup. I know you know this, but I'm getting to a point. You don't win every individual matchup. The other guys are on scholarship too, as Jimbo likes to point out. And so this could call for me to seal or whatever it might be, and this guy could just whip my ass. I mean, he's good too, and it can happen. It's the margin for error that really bothers me most, that our offense seems to be predicated around most of those guys having to always win those individual matchups and everything needing to be perfect. And when it is, we're all right. But when it's not, the margin for error is so slim that it seems like, or feels like, and I could be wrong on this, but it feels like it ends up being an unmitigated disaster the second one of those things doesn't go your way, whereas you watch other teams fail to execute properly on a certain play, or a kid make a poor decision or do something flat out wrong that just from the play design he wasn't supposed to do. And there's room for that mistake to occur and the play isn't a 5-yard loss.
Right.
I mean, I don't feel like we have much margin for error, and we run so few plays that when you make those mistakes, it amplifies the mistake because you don't have enough plays to overcome that.
Sure. Yeah, to use a music analogy, I suppose, you could say that we're like a symphony orchestra, and if one instrument's out of tune,
somebody's off, it ruins the whole thing.
Right. And some offenses out there, which the most gimmicky ones that I don't really appreciate, but what they are, they're like a cover band on a Friday night at happy hour. Yeah, you miss a note here. Nobody's really going to care.
Ben, order me another beer.
It's not going to stand out, but
we got a little Bachman Turner Overdrive going now, Tom.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Oh, BTO.
I'll
stay for another one.
All right,
stay for another
let's do it. Sure,
all right,
let's do it. You ain't seen nothing yet. Let's go.
You really haven't. But no, to me, it's just that a lot of times it's mental errors, and I think that's where if Jimbo's going to clean house, if that is in fact true, even on the offensive side of the ball, I think that's a good thing for the squad.
Yeah, and I think
not just the line, because most everybody talks about the line, the offensive line, the line.
Receivers, man, over and over and over again. I mean, it's something to behold that you can't. When you think of Florida State and you think about the receivers that have come through here, you think to yourself, man, there's a dearth of players moving to the next level, having great success at that position, and we are, at Florida State. Ought not be the case.
Yeah, between, his press conferences, let's say the coaches show too, which he usually lets a couple of things slip during the coaches show.
Happened last night, in fact, yeah.
Even the highlight show where he's going over the flow of things, and his mind is moving so quickly, he'll kind of give you a couple of nuggets a game where you go, oh, really? So that was the case. Or his calls with you on and off the record. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many times have you heard X player has run the wrong route? Or we called X, and they decided to do this.
Yeah.
Man, that's the thing. That can't happen this weekend. You've got whatever you call, guys have to know what the hell they're doing and where the hell to be. Because the margin this weekend, you think the margin's slim in general these days for us, but the margin this weekend, good Lord.
I don't know if we could execute it, and coaches don't like to go completely rogue and do things that, I know you self-scout and you have things within your playbook that you don't use as much as others and you don't put out there on film as much as others, but there's certainly – and it's harder to do as a true freshman at quarterback is the big thing. That's where you're really hurt and limited, and you got to scale the playbook back, unfortunately. But yeah, it would be great to see him kind of break out of a certain mold and just decide to do – and he's done it before. It's not as if he hasn't done it. I mean, he cracked me up one time. I've told this story many times, but it is insight into his way of thinking. We were having a hard time one year blocking it up about 6 years ago or so, 7 years ago, and
the one fan says, every year, Jeff. Yeah. Every year.
Yeah. Well, we were having – he's not one fan that says that, but we were having a hard time blocking it up, protecting the quarterback one year, and he was growing frustrated, and I was talking to him, and I said, well, obviously if you can't block it up, you really are limited as to what you can do with play calling, I know, and certainly from a game planning standpoint, if you don't trust that you're going to be able to block, what do you do? And this was off the record, but it really was in earnest. I don't know what you do as a play caller if you don't trust that you can block it up. I mean, you are really stuck at that point. And I expected him to kind of say, well, we'll have to run a lot of screens, a lot of draws, play action, roll them out, kind of stuff you do that you see teams do when it's a jailbreak, And I was waiting for that answer. And there was a long pause, and he used a word I can't use here, and he said, I'll go 5 wide and throw it on every play. I'll spread them out. We'll go. And I thought about it. You could do that. You just short, quick passes, get the ball out of the quarterback's hand, and you play at tempo, and guys have to get in a hurry and line up, and you just and you hope like hell somebody misses an assignment. It's a quick way to get blown out as well. It's a quick way to get off the field having run no clock and exhaust your defense as well. And you got to win first down, and I got you. But it was funny because he had a quick answer like, well, if we can't block it up, I got an answer. This is what we'll do. I won't even ask him to do it. And of course we're not going to do that. But it would be funny.
Yeah, but wasn't that the weekend that we lost to Wake off a bye? I think that's what came up next. I feel like we lost that next game because I remember you relaying that story.
Well, maybe. I don't remember. He was very aggravated, so it's entirely possible. I just remember though again that he's got in his bag of tricks things other than what we associate with his base offense that he is come hell or high water intending to run. This might be the week.
Man, you can't be going 5 wide with James Blackman on
I don't
the road.
want to go 5 wide. I don't want to go 5 wide. I'm saying something that is far outside the parameters of what we're accustomed to.
About goal line set every play. There it is.
Oh, well, sure. I mean, let's shorten your splits or close down your splits and double tight this thing.
Yeah.
And bring in an extra tackle and, yeah.
Maybe Derek Nottie.
Run
Marvin Wilson for you.
Old school fullback lead. Let's just get in here. And
here's big old 21 leading the way.
I will say, which somebody brought up to him, and he said at some point it might happen.
What, the Marvin might come out? Oh, all right.
Maybe not this Saturday, but he did answer that and said at some point, I'm sure I'll do it. He's done it before.
Yes. Hell yeah. He did it before Cam Irving was an offensive lineman. He was a D lineman down in Florida. I remember that on our goal line. It was Cam and Bjorn Werner, I believe, down in 11.
Which is great.
And then Mario Edwards was in for a little
Imagine
while.
That coming at you, leading the way. My goodness. That's a little right there.
Is.
I don't think I'm going to run fit on that one. I think I'm going to leave that be. That's a big man rolling through there. That's like Allstott in the Super Bowl.
In those days especially.
Yeah. You're like, good Lord, don't want any part of that. Well, again, that's I'm just looking for things that are kind of outside the norm here to help protect the young quarterback that's going to have a real hard time against this defensive line with this offensive line. And it's not all solely based on, hey, people are Rick Trickett. No, but they lost Landon Dickerson. They've had injuries. They've had issues to go along with whatever it is that you're frustrated by with Rick.
Also this week, got to work on the quarterback-center exchange if you're going to be running under center and you're going to be running a little bit more. Also those mesh points, Got to make sure that when we hand the ball off, be it a center to a quarterback or a quarterback to a tailback, that we're not putting the ball on the ground.
Well, Tom, here's the good news after talking about the many perhaps alternative suggestions offensively that we should steer towards. I believe this is the week that we get Cam Akers in a little wildcat action, buddy.
Okay.
Little throw the football with your tailback action. I actually do think he'll do it.
Well, he said something to that effect last night.
Yeah.
That his role will grow.
Oh, yeah. As he gets more and more comfortable with him, sure. I think, listen, you got to pull it out here. You remember when when Clemson came here in that wild game and they threw the kitchen sink at us and we were like, this is ridiculous.
We're 3-5 in Camp Block.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You go, okay. That's why we were only half joking yesterday when we said the other angle is just to go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
little toss pass.
A little toss pass, and we got guys hitting borderline by the sideline, looking crazy-eyed off into the distance like they've just snapped. Got nothing to lose today.
They're just yelling, no, stop. Our linebackers, no, no, when the quarterback's going through his cadence.
What in the world? Yeah.
What's wrong with this guy?
They have lost their mind here.
Tell them to shut up.
Yeah, I mean, just.
What is it that John Goodman yells in?
Barton Fink?
Yeah, Barton Fink.
Oh. Well, there's a couple things but one of them can't yell.
I'll show you the, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great movie. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and the full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
An A-rated company that was founded in 1872 with billions in assets. The same company that underwrites GM's GMPP and Ford's Gap Insurance. Kraft Nissan's lifetime warranty comes with every new Nissan we sell and most pre-owned vehicles that are 5 years old or newer with 50,000 miles or less. While Kraft Nissan's service department will certainly exceed your expectations and keep your records, you're not required to service with us. To maintain the warranty, you perform the manufacturer's recommended maintenance and keep your records. You can do that at any licensed repair shop in the U.S. or Canada. It's that easy. What's the catch? There are no catches, hidden fees, or gimmicks. Kraft Nissan provides the product as an added value to our customers for doing business with us. So when you're ready to buy from Kraft Nissan, the home of our original and the only real lifetime warranty at no charge. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Sports are defined by stats and performance, but here's a performance stat that no one wants to talk about. Erectile dysfunction affects half of all men over 40. That's 50%. If you're struggling with ED and other therapies haven't worked, isn't it time to feel like yourself again? Learn about a long-lasting ED solution from Coloplast to get you back in the game. Visit Dr. DeLay at Advanced Urology Institute, located at 2000 Centerpoint Boulevard, or call their office and set up an appointment today. 833-4DRDELAY. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay. The sooner you seek treatment, the sooner you can get back to feeling like your normal self. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay.
Contact your local CenturyLink retail store to enter for a chance to win the CenturyLink Ultimate Football Fan Experience, which includes a trip to the biggest game of the year. For eligibility and official rules, go to CenturyLinkFanForLife.com/FAQ. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
That was a thrill ride I was just on. I'm unhappy to be off it. You guys can't picture me, right? Like doing the wave on a roller coaster as it goes downhill, right? You can't picture me like going, woo!
No, we cannot. I can't picture you on a roller coaster.
Right.
Have you ever been on one?
My life has never been one of those. My life is a very steady trolley. Very secure, very responsible. It is getting there on time, though. It doesn't make any noises other than creak. It goes very slowly, but it's gathering steam, baby. I got some fuel in the woods. Now I am gathering steam and headed downhill. Choo-choo, baby.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Tallahassee, this fits perfectly for the weather outside. And I mean that in a very positive way. Oh, it's one of my favorite Stone songs. I mean, I got a gazillion, but it's an all-timer.
Man, I love chill-sounding music, and this is all right. I'm grooving right now.
Oh, mix sounds good here. Go ahead and play.
Watching girls pass by.
Perfect. Yeah, it's an old-timer thing, Mick. Let's do this. Let's get to more watching, less washing, or less washing, more watching, however you like to say it. Cue it up, sir.
Jeff, what's your plan with all of this laundry?
Not my job.
Excuse me, get off the couch already.
Wash around the clock's got it. More watching, less washing.
Ooh. Best husband ever.
Damn Skippy. All right, so what I would tell you is if you have not engaged and found your time being saved, and Frank, you know, this is what it's all about when you hear me talk about this, but maybe some of you are new to the program and you don't know about Easy Laundry. You don't know about TallahasseeLaundry.com and Wash Around the Clock. Pickup and delivery service at your home or office, ultimate convenience. I'm busy. You're busy. We're all busy. We got things to do, places to go, people to see, all that good stuff, money to make. And time is money. And when you're spending all of that time washing your kids' clothes and your clothes and then drying them and hanging them up and folding them and putting them back, Well, it's frustrating, and you don't have to. You can save all that money. It is efficient. It is absolutely convenient. Tom just dropped off his clothes this week. Didn't drop them off. He had them here in a big red bag that said, please pick me up, take me, and fix me. That is to say, wash me, fold me, and bring me back neatly tomorrow, which they will. That's how easy it is. And I did the same. I'll be getting my clothes tomorrow, and guess what? There is nothing sitting in the laundry bin that I know won't be taken care of by somebody else. How about that?
You know, one thing I learned, and it's just amazing how much your parents are right as a kid, and you want to fight it, and you want to rebel against it.
It's part of a process.
It is, but then you come back to it and you go, oh, damn, they were right again. Man, they're right a lot.
Right as rain.
One thing my dad told me when I was a kid, he said, you know, you'll really appreciate if your room is clean when you go on vacation. When you come
back, it's nice and
it's nice
orderly.
and
that
neat.
he was right about. And I know you never listened to that.
Yeah, I always fought against it. But the truth is, nowadays, when I have things that are done for me or I get out ahead of them, man, the stress level that you trade in while doing that for having somebody do something nice for you, like our friends at EasyLaundry.net, TallahasseeLaundry.com, or Wash Around the Clock. When I bring home that big red bag and I have just piles of neatly folded clothes, and then for my polo shirts, ESPN polo pullovers, they put them on hangers, they hang them up just like dry cleaning. Man, I don't have to think about that. I just saved an hour and a half, 2 hours that during football season we don't have. Frankly, you and I, we don't have that time in football season. So I'm thankful for them.
I don't have it out of football season either, but especially that is true. I understand what you're saying. But, yeah, now with my kids, I used to sit there and look with dread as they would bring in loads of laundry, and they would, you know, we had these different bins that were set up, and I'm like, all right, put your shirts there, put your underwear over here or whatever, and I'd go, man, I got to get this done this weekend. I know I do. They're going to need that long-sleeve shirt for this event and all that, and now I know we've got it all set.
Well, you had to budget time. That's the thing, too, man. The linens, I change linens on the regular now.
Oh yeah, what do you care?
Sleeping in comfort.
What the hell do I care? I'll get new ones done on Tuesday. Get you some of that. Anyhow, TallahasseeLaundry.com from our friends Wash Around the Clock. Go check it out. Get involved with the Easy Laundry service. It's affordable. Moreover, it saves you time, and time is money. What will I be watching? What will I be watching? Well,
what's that kid bench?
How fast can he run? Tampa Bay and LA tonight, two of the elite teams in all of hockey so far to start the year. You could argue the two best teams, 12-2-2, Tampa Bay, 11-2-2, LA. Got to stay up till 10:30 to do it, but it's worth my time and yours. I'll do it tonight.
Yeah, well, the thing is, you're on the second of a back-to-back. If you're Tampa, that's your backup netminder, so that's a little trouble there.
It could be trouble, but, you know, when you win 5-1 last night, it's easy breezy in that next game.
So of the Park Your Ass Saturday games, outside of ours.
Parking it.
Our game is like that. Oh, yeah, they're playing game. It's not part of the Park Your Ass. Do you have a particular one?
Notre Dame, Miami.
Okay.
Really excited
about
Notre Dame.
So it is Miami again, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Really exciting to watch Notre Dame, Miami. And you know what? It's always good to watch Miami get that first L. So it'll be usually it happens so much earlier in the season, and typically it happens against us every year. So this is a little bit different, you know?
I would have figured you would have said TCU, Oklahoma.
You know, I hate the Big 12. It's just so bad. It's hard to watch. It's embarrassing, and so you know, I even though I love OU, I struggle to watch. That game will be better than the other Big 12 matchups, but yeah, no, I'm not racing towards it. No.
I can tell you the wheels are turning. You're trying to find a reason. And you go, nope, no.
Yeah, it's just Big 12 football's garbage.
Percent chance Mississippi State stuns us on Saturday and beats Alabama, who's a little bit banged up this week.
Pretty small.
Okay.
Saban's played well against Dan Mullen's teams, and Saban's coached well, and his teams played well against every team, obviously. So it's not just Dan Mullen. But when you talk about the scoring, and you look at even when Mississippi State was very good with Dak, Alabama handled Dan Mullen's offense quite easily.
More likely to happen: Auburn beats Georgia.
Yes.
Miami beats Notre Dame.
Good call. Auburn beating Georgia is more likely. Auburn beating Georgia on the Plains is more likely.
Vegas says it's about the same.
Yeah, Vegas is wrong, and I've been right more than most this year. They do say it's about the same. Hey, let's give away some tickets to Rockville. Woohoo! April 27th, 28th, 29th. That's a long way from now. You got all the time in the world to get yourself a babysitter if that's what you need to do, or a dog sitter. Find a girl to take to the show. You got all kinds of time.
Kid may be a babysitter by the time the show comes.
Yeah, it's they believe in advertising well in advance, and you can go see Ozzy and Foo Fighters, Queens of the Stone Age, Billy Idol. Caller 2-523-3776. Make it happen. 2 tickets for you now.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and the full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
For the Help a Hero donation box. And on Veterans Day, November 11th, Sport Clips will donate $1 for every haircut. That's what we call making your cut count.
My name is Jacob Dietz, United States Marine, and I'm saluting you.
Sport Clips. It's good to be a guy. To learn more about the Sport Clips Help a Hero Scholarship Program, visit sportclips.com.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac is back at it, supporting the High School Scholar Athlete of the Month on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Listen every Wednesday to hear our monthly winners. Check them out at Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMCCadillac.com.
Noel fans, ESPN Tallahassee's official home for FSU watch parties in 2017 is Miller's Ale House on Appalachia Parkway.
Francois to throw for the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown. Seminoles are going for the win.
The ESPN Tallahassee team will be on hand for every Seminole away football game with giveaways, a chance to win some great prizes, and to have a good time.
To the pylon. He's into the end zone for an FSU touchdown.
So, when the Noles hit the road, join us at Miller's Ale House on the Parkway, the official FSU watch party headquarters of your home of the best in Seminole sports talk. 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee Sports Authority.
Need help moving? 2 Men and a Truck Tallahassee provides professional home and business move services, both locally and long distance. For your next move, visit 2men.com or call them at 850-224-2232. 2 Men and a Truck, the movers who care.
At the Home Depot, we know communities are more than bricks and mortar. They're people, and we're part of your community too. So in the wake of Hurricane Irma, we're here to help. We have essential items in the front of the store, making it easy for you to get what you need, quickly. We're doing our best to keep those supplies in stock. And of course, we're maintaining the same everyday low prices. Because when our community needs us, the Home Depot is here to help.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shops work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
License number MP46050.
Live from the Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautoworld.com.
If only Jimbo would jump back in that golf cart and start recruiting quarterbacks again, we could hear this music. But we're not. We don't have a quarterback that we're recruiting.
I know we can't retire the track. It's a good track.
It's a great song. You know, by the way, as an aside, their new album's going to suck. It's going to be awful.
Is it going to be auto-downloaded to my phone again?
Maybe, but I never complained about that because free's free. I can just get rid of it or not listen to it. But I will say, I've heard 2 songs off the new record that they've promoted. Uncomfortably bad.
Really?
Like the kind of bad where you go, oh, no. It'd be like if Jordan announced he was coming back again.
Right now.
Right now.
Like to play tomorrow
where you
night.
Go, oh, no. No, and then he did, and he scored 2 points. And you go, oh, Mike, don't do this.
The 2 were on a putback layup.
Yeah. And a runaway game that nobody's really defending. Like, let the old man get a putback.
What if they just abandoned the electric feel and did a coffee shop, little whispery, type? I'll bet that album would work.
It would. Well, you reach a place, I've got strong opinions about music, and some of the greatest all-time best artists have made some really bad records. It tends to happen. You can't make great records the entirety of your life. I can think of no exception to this rule. Not the great Bob Dylan or anybody. At some point, you run out of things to say and the ability to say them. You're just making music to make music because it's what you do, and that's great. But if it lacks inspiration or innovation, then, sometimes you kind of, it's a toughie.
Metallica's been pretty kick-ass for every album they've ever made.
No, not true. No, you just knew you were going to elicit that.
It's a troll.
Yeah. It's disappointing. But there are lots of moments when it happens for all of us that invest time and money and emotion in our favorite artists, where they keep going. And at some point, usually after about the 3rd or 4th record, it actually ends very quickly. Get about to that 4th, 5th record. You go, ooh, I don't know. I think we're starting to fade. Now, your all-time greats are capable of producing 6, 7, 8 incredible records. It happens. It's very rare. That's why they're all-time greats. But most people, you get to that 4th or 5th record, we're about done here.
Well, that's why I thought I can remember thinking this too in early high school when U2 released in 2002, I think it was, which was the record with A Beautiful Day was on it, whatever. That was a good record.
How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb?
Was that it?
I can't remember if that was it.
That might have been the next one.
Which is good.
Which was a decent record at that time, too. But,
yeah.
I mean, they were this early 90s phenomenon when I was growing, because that's when I was growing up and being exposed to their music. I see you said, no, the 80s, Tom. But that they were able to do something in the 21st century, I thought, well, this is impressive. I mean, this is actually a fairly good record.
Yeah, How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb was in 2004, and it is a good record, and they haven't made a good one since. And it can't possibly be that was that long ago.
Oh, yeah.
All That You Can't Leave Behind is the record you're thinking of, which is also very good.
All That You Can't Leave Behind.
Okay. That was that one. And it's good.
Well, that's how I feel about, I think that's the coaches' offices might feel like around December 10th,
I just want to warn people. Like, you don't get this, don't get suckered in. They're going to release a record this year, and it's going to be awful. Just know that. Just don't have your high hopes.
They'll be on Jimmy Fallon pushing it real hard.
Which, they know how to market, right? It's Beer 30. Play it up.
Count 'em up, pour 'em out.
I'll just have a cup of coffee.
There it is. It's Beer 30, brought to you by the 7th Hill Tap Room on Appalachia Parkway.
All right, Beer 30. Yeah, baby. Love Beer 30. The 7th Hill Tap Room. What are they doing tonight? What are they doing this weekend?
Well, this weekend, the Cup Club, man. If you haven't joined the Cup Club, now's the time. It's a
shame on you if you haven't joined the Cup Club.
Park your rump on a bar stool at the 7th Hill Tap Room Saturday. If you get the $10 Cup Club cup, that is on Saturday, $1 off all drafts all day long. Then on Sundays, half off all drafts all day. That's right, half off all drafts.
Half off drafts all day. That's on Sunday?
Sundays.
So if you don't want to really have to concentrate all that much on the Bucks-Jets game, this could come in handy.
Or if, you got there early enough on Saturday and you join the Cup Club, it's $10 to get the cup. You might, by the end of the night, after watching us play at 3:30, get your money back and then some by that point.
By then, yes, you absolutely could. Wow. I just keep getting downtrodden thinking about it, and I shouldn't because this is a really cool thing, but I just keep getting more and more depressed, Tom, about the status of our football teams. There's just no respite. No rest for the weary.
Well, it's called Sunday afternoon golf. That's the respite.
I mean, is that where we are? Is that what we're doing now? It's just we're just done?
I think we're in golf territory, yeah.
I think you might be right. Golf territory has called us. Or football has failed us, and golf now harkens.
So you can watch the condensed version of the game from the NFL app before we have to do Scuttlebucks on Wednesday. Of course, we'll watch the Knowles game and go to them and watch them in their entirety, but you don't have to do that on Sunday. Now we're just tanking for a draft pick, so who cares?
Oh, man.
Or at least hopefully that's what we're doing.
Our thanks to the 7th Hill Tap Room, and I like doing Beer 30. It's fun to talk about these things. I should also note, by the way, that did you go to that? I didn't ask you. Did you try the Founders Brewing Backwoods Bastard?
I did not, but on Saturday they have a Cigar City specialty tapping that's going on.
What are we doing here, buddy? That could be a thing right there. That's got to happen. What time does that take place, Tom?
I'm going to find that information
I'm going to be
now.
there is what I'm going to do because I love you. Cigar City, I do.
This is the thing. Usually you have the copy in front of you, but if something really strikes you, and you honestly, from down deep in the cockles, as you like to say, want to be there for something. And you remember it without having copy in front of you. And I remembered it's a Cigar City beer, Le Caife.
Oh, sure.
C-A-I-F-A, like Le Caife.
Sure.
It starts Saturday at noon.
All righty. Just in time for football.
It's been brewed in collaboration with the people from Jameson. So it's going to have a little whiskey tinge to it.
That's right. It's got a little whiskey tinge to it. Okay, I got you. They've been rolling out these new Cigar City beers lately that I've yet to try, and I'm a big fan. So I feel like I'm behind. Maybe I'll have to swing by the 7th Hill Tap Room.
Maybe.
Make sure that happens. You guys, you got a game you want to wager with me here before we move forward with the next item that's depressing?
I like most of the picks. I think the best one, obviously, is the under in the NFL between the Packers and the Bears because that has NFC South special 13-10 written all over it.
Should be a fun affair, right? One of the things about making this week's picks is that I really, really, really reminded myself that, again, you got to pick 10 games, and you don't always feel strongly about 10 games. The numbers don't always play out in such a way that you say, you know what, that's a game I need to bet based on my numbers. No, this week I didn't really have a lot of that. Vegas is rolling right now. Now, I've been having winning weeks, and you have too in our private life. Publicly on the air, I've been having winning weeks. That's good. They're hard to have this late in the year. Vegas got a good handle on everybody right about now. So every time you look at a number and you go, that seems about right, yeah, they got it. They got a pretty good handle on what teams are.
Yeah, the only one that I'd take a look at and say, ooh, maybe.
Virginia. You don't like Virginia?
Well, first of all, the Clemson FSU number, I don't want to touch. But at 16, I'm thinking, well, it's pretty good value.
I'll give you 16, buddy.
You'll give me 16.
I'll give you. I've got Clemson.
That's what the sheet says.
I'll give you 16 if you want to take it. God, if we're within 16 points of Clemson in the fourth quarter of this weekend's game, buddy, I'm celebrating.
No, the one I'm looking at and I say, I'm not so sure about this one is the the Notre Dame Miami number.
You like Miami?
Well, there's something in the air out down there, isn't there? It's kind of annoying.
It's that Virginia Tech wasn't really good.
Yeah, but again, it's a night game back there down. I mean,
that Notre Dame team has proven their mettle.
They have.
That's the thing. They don't.
Is it sad that I'm going to watch that game and worry a little bit because that doesn't punch the ticket for Miami to the college football playoff? They still would have to beat Clemson, but it
gets close though, doesn't it?
Yeah, can we
too
just
close
put this
for
thing
comfort
to bed,
where you're
please?
like, what? All right, cute little story. You guys aren't really good, and you know that. Let's not make anything out of this.
There's already been enough damage done in the recruiting circles. They got plenty to sell. That's already over and done with.
Yeah, we don't, right?
But can we put this thing to bed, please?
Well, you are in, as ESPN put today, the sprint to the college football playoff now. I mean, here we go. And we've got a lot of games with big-time implications when you got Notre Dame taking on Miami. That's 3 versus 7, 8 o'clock, prime time, good stuff. Then you get from there, think about all the ramifications of that game and how it could affect a team like Wisconsin, how it could affect a team like Washington who's still out there, how it could affect, the result of the Oklahoma-TCU game. I mean, we get these games this weekend where you go, okay, all right, the ripple effect is duly noted, and, now you start angling for those teams that you've watched play a lot and you believe to be a top 4 team, but may not make it in based on any number of other circumstances. So, you begin your rooting and you begin your hoping and wishing, and you hate that it doesn't involve your own team. I got you. But, okay. I mean, that's where we're at. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm not going to stop watching football. If Notre Dame beats Miami, and they're in the way right now of the Big Ten, they're in the way of the Big 12 for that matter. They're in the way of the Pac-12. So if they are able to win that game, they go basically and take on Navy and Stanford. They don't have a title game. So they're in a position now where they will have cleared the necessary hurdles. The schedule is good enough, and then some.
They can't set that number big enough for Navy, too. They'll throttle Navy. There are years where you go, well, I don't know about the matchup.
Right.
They're going to throttle the hell out of that service
But you
academy.
also have Georgia and Auburn, and a lot of people, the chic pick right now is to take Auburn to beat Georgia in a game that may not end up mattering unless Auburn were to somehow down the line upset Alabama, which, again, Alabama deserves a ton of credit for simply taking care of business, and they are doing so almost workmanlike. There was a time when they were bludgeoning teams in their conference earlier this year.
Yeah, a little 3-week stretch or so.
Yeah, where it was just, my God, it was mind-numbing what they were doing to people. But lately it's just been professional. It's just been sort of, okay, nice win against LSU, nothing that blew me away. Nice win against Texas A&M, nothing that blew me away. Just sort of playing it out, are you? Almost like they're bored. And they'll get a lead early. They'll come out, and then they strangle you. You watch it, you're like, you're not going to score on that defense. You're not going to score in bunches on that defense, and they know that. And it's just awfully tough to come back once you get down a couple of scores. You do feel like, though, at some point a team's going to line up and do something similar to what we actually did, which is slow the running game down enough that kid's going to have to make throws consistently, and they could get offed. Maybe even Auburn.
Yeah, would have been a hell of a thing if we didn't special teams our way into a loss, That was the funny thing about that game.
Yeah, but we didn't play great on offense after the first quarter.
Sure, but it would have been a field position slugfest.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no guarantee that Alabama would have been able to move at 60, 70 yards. But
That's true.
Actually, in fact, they couldn't. They didn't.
They didn't have to, though.
They didn't have to.
No. Bunch of possessions inside our 50, yeah. Yeah, that's true. West Virginia, Oklahoma State, kind of on the periphery of interesting games, but one that is.
There's a lot of be careful games out there.
Yeah.
We unfortunately qualify as a be careful game on this weekend slate.
Maybe. I mean, Michigan State, Ohio State, had Ohio State not lost in the fashion that they did, we'd be looking very closely here just because the winner will represent the Big East in the Big Ten East in the conference championship game. So, I mean, really very surprisingly, give it up to 7-2 Michigan State after the year they had a season ago.
Right.
We never used them as an example. It's a little bit different, but
they patchwork it together, don't they?
Yeah, go back. I just pulled it up right now because I was kind of curious. I remember they lost to Notre Dame. Another good win for Notre Dame now that Michigan State's playing well. They lost 38-18 in that game. But they beat Iowa 17-10, same team that just lit it up to Ohio State. They beat Michigan 14-10. They beat Minnesota 30-27. I mean, every week, they lost to they beat Indiana 17-9, and you're going, this is ridiculous. I mean, it kind of is, right? Even they beat Western Michigan 28-14. So the one good team they had played up to that point, it was Notre Dame, and they lost. But then, they turn around and beat Penn State. They did lose to Northwestern 39-31.
Ooh, a score fest with Northwestern.
I took Northwestern in the points that day.
I'll bet you Vegas made tons of cash on the over there.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah.
Everybody took the under.
Yeah, they did. And now it's Ohio State. If they beat Ohio State, Tom, they're going to beat Maryland and Rutgers. They're going to finish 10-2, represent the East in the Big Ten championship game. That's ridiculous.
The hell is 10-2? I don't even know what that looks like.
What we wouldn't give for 10-2.
Oh, buddy.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and the full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my poor truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Free oil change from Superlube. You'll be glad you did.
They change my oil in just 10 minutes. Boy, this place is sure convenient. How I love to Superlube my car, lube my car. How I love to Superlube my car. Yes, sir.
Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Our lifetime warranty is a game changer for buying cars in Tallahassee and Thomasville. You already know it extends the factory powertrain for unlimited time and unlimited miles. But here are the facts. Kraft Nissan's lifetime warranty is backed by Great American Insurance Company, an A-rated company that was founded in 1872 with billions in assets. The same company that underwrites GM's GMPP and Ford's Gap Insurance. Kraft Nissan's lifetime warranty comes with every new Nissan we sell and most pre-owned vehicles that are 5 years old or newer with 50,000 miles or less. While Kraft Nissan's service department will certainly exceed your expectations and keep your records, you're not required to service with us. To maintain the warranty, you perform the manufacturer's recommended maintenance and keep your records. You can do that at any licensed repair shop in the U.S. or Canada. It's that easy. What's the catch? There are no catches, hidden fees, or gimmicks. Kraft Nissan provides the product as an added value to our customers for doing business with us. So when you're ready to buy from Kraft Nissan, the home of our original and the only real lifetime warranty at no charge. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Beef O'Brady's 2 for $20. The only hard part is choosing. First, pick a starter to share. Then pick 2 entrees like grilled shrimp and a steak bowl. All for $20. Beef O'Brady's, where 2 for $20 gets you plenty.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
So when you saw the situation in which A.J. Green slammed Jalen Ramsey and then picked him up and slammed him again and did all that stuff, did you think, man, Ramsey had to have said something insane? But according to Jalen Ramsey himself, he says that all he did was repeatedly tell A.J. Green after every play that he was soft, that he was weak, and do it over and over and over again. Old Sassy will get to you, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Old Sassy, as I call him, is a tough one. He's impossible. But that's funny. If that's accurate, and I tend to think it is, that's well done.
I think he's telling the truth because in part of his comments, he said that in the postgame, once a couple of Bengals came up to him and said, when he started talking back to you, that's how we knew that you got him. Because he never does that. He's never the snap back at somebody guy verbally.
Yeah, he said that he was trying to make A.J. Green mad, and he would say to him after plays that he's soft, that he was weak, and that his time in the league was almost up. And what I think is funny about it is Jalen, I mean, he's impossible, right? I mean, there's a lot of things to really not like about Jalen Ramsey, lots of them. But if he's on your team and you're not his teammate, 2 things to love about him is that he is a dominant player, as we knew he would be, and he shows up on Sundays and plays great every single week, and there's a good chance he's going to incite a reaction like the one he got from A.J. Green and get guys penalties and or thrown out of games. And it's not like he can't talk. I mean, he talked here. He talked in games here constantly. Against Miami in particular, he used to make me laugh all the time. The gif of him clapping in your boy's ear repeatedly after making that's a toughie.
That is a tough
one. That's a tough one to take. You can just feel yourself getting angry, and he's on your team. Like, when I watch it, I go, oh, man, I don't know. I might have had to respond to that, which is exactly what he wants. What he can't do, what a lot of players said that you ought not do, is to allow to have happen to you what had happened to him, which is to just kind of be docile as you're getting thrown around. But I disagree. I don't think it reveals him being a punk. I think he's achieved his goal at that point.
Oh, no, that's the whole point.
He's trying to get your boy thrown out of the game.
There's only one player in the passing game that is worth a damn in Cincinnati, and it ain't the quarterback. He knows it's A.J. Green.
It's funny to me that A.J. Green, who's been so good on a bad team and has to feel stuck constantly, has managed not to blow his top at any point that I can think of. In the press, certainly he hasn't. And I don't see him with the kind of, receivers tend to be divas. They get frustrated when the ball's not being thrown to them, and we all see the antics on the side. You never see that with him. He always struck me as very professional, calm, able to handle the situation, handle the frustrations. So there's Jalen, old Sassy, just John to the point where it finally broke him.
Yeah.
And nobody else has been able to break him all this time.
Right. No, he lives for it. But I think part of it is the frustration of the season. If Cincinnati's got a 3-game over 500 record in that circumstance,
just walk away.
He'll be, and he's all pro. You know what I mean? He's on pace for whatever, all these benchmarks. I don't think A.J. Green cares. I think that's a function of they suck again. He's had the same head coach, Jeff, since I was in high school. Marvin Lewis has been the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals since I was in high school.
You're angry. You would have attacked Jalen Ramsey based on Marvin Lewis. Not a word, Jalen. I'm done with you. I know I'm stuck in this endless loop of hell.
It's Dalton and Lewis. Lewis and Dalton. Must be a year that ends in a number.
By the way, so what makes me laugh, that's well played, is that Jalen, and I give him credit because he doesn't shy away from admitting that that's who he is. It's what he does. It's his thing. Quote, there are rumors out there that I said some deep personal stuff. I'm going to let you all know that's simply not true. I get out. I do my thing. I talk blank, but I don't go personal, no. I don't talk about people's wife. I've never talked about nobody's kids, nobody's family. That's not who I am. I don't do that. But I did tell him almost after every play that he was weak, that he is soft. And them are straight facts, and he couldn't handle it. And, you know, I could see where that would get to you. Almost more than the other.
But who's the receiver in the game right now that is as nasty as it takes to be with Jalen Ramsey? I'm just talking about demeanor. It's not Des Bryant anymore. It used to be.
At the end of his comments, he was asked another question, Tom, and he said, well, look, man, it was easy. It was. He had one catch for 6 yards. What? Final hour, forthcoming. Stay with us.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart,
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least 4 today. Thanks for tuning to it, and a fine Redemption Thursday to you and yours. Finally feels like it's late in the week and we're ready to turn the corner and watch a little damn football, right? Even if that is a little, it's a little weighty proposition of sitting down and watching Florida State take on Clemson on Saturday.
Yeah, the one thing I'd say is, the park your ass thing, it's true, but some of the upsets last week took the wind out of the sails here.
Yeah. But we basically have some playoff games here, or for a right to be in the playoff. Like Notre Dame, Miami, obviously, is kind of that.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool. I'm excited about that. By the way, we're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. You can go there to listen live via the streaming. If you miss things, portions of the show that you want to catch up on, maybe an interview, whatever it might be, go there afterwards. We'll post all 3 hours of the program, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can email the show if you like. It's JCS at 979 ESPNradio.com. Find me on Twitter at JCameronShow, WTSM app for your mobile devices, and ESPN Tallahassee on YouTube. Florida State Clemson, 3:30 Saturday, a game that defined the ACC and became really must-see television across the country, is now not that, thanks to Florida State's 3-5 season. Clemson has done their job. This hour, we will talk to Walt Deptula. He joins us every year. He does an afternoon show for 105.5 The Roar up in Greenville, is it? Or somewhere near there?
That area.
Yeah, that area.
The neighborhood of Clemson.
Yeah. And I'm on his show every year around this time. I'll be on, in fact, tomorrow, and he's on mine. And we talk about this game. And we have for 4 or 5 years now. Anyhow, the point would be that's going to be probably lengthy, so we'll play that for you here. A shorter segment, open, then long, us talking forever. It'll be good. I do want to ask him some big picture stuff about where this Clemson program's at right now, which is in a good place, obviously, and how they arrived here. Dabo Swinney's done a good job, and pick his brain. I know he has him on frequently, and I know he's had Brent Venables and others on. So I'll get some thoughts about where they're at and what they're doing, and how this Florida State team matches up against them. It's funny. I this morning I woke up early, as I'm wont to do these days as an old man, waking up, eyes opening at 5. I don't think you can avoid it, Tom. I don't think any longer. I don't think it was just the kids. I just think that that's the cycle of life I'm in, buddy. Just the eyes opening up like I should be sitting at the table, drinking a cup of coffee, reading the paper at 5 a.m.
Maybe it's the life that you secretly wanted. I think that
Oh,
maybe,
really?
Yes. Man, you love your mornings. You're at peace in the morning.
I am at peace in the mornings. I do love my mornings. Maybe my brain was going, we need some me time, Jeff.
Yeah, I think that's what that was.
We need some me time.
And not late night me time, because then, you're groggy in the morning and the kids are going to get up no matter what.
That's right.
I think there was a blend of yes, the need for me time, and the pragmatist said, well, the kids need dad time too. So I got to be ready for dad time.
So there's an article, and I don't want to read the whole thing at all. I'm not setting it up this way. I will use it here. I was reading it this morning, okay? So it made me laugh. It was about how it is. So if you guys have heard me reference, just like there's a Tomahawk Nation, there's a Clemson Tigers community SB Nation page too, and it's called Shaken in the Southland. We once had a guy on from Shaken in the Southland. Anyhow, obviously they're all pro Clemson. It's always going to be yay Clemson, right? But guy wrote an article called FSU Sit Down, Son, We Need to Have a Chat. And it's pretty funny. Makes me laugh a little bit. And it says, the subheading, Florida State, you're better than this. Which right away grabbed me, and I went, yeah. And I also thought about how much fun we had at other teams, in particular our rivals' expense, when we were kicking ass and taking names.
Woo! Suck it, Clemson!
Right. We were having a blast, right? And then now we're on the wrong end of this, or at least the way we perceive it to be the wrong end of this, And it's amongst many things that they point out, it's kind of an outsider's view of how did we arrive at this point where you guys have rendered this game really just another game. And the person writes, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Oh! You're the Noles, one of the baddest outfits in all of college football, and I'm not sure what's going on with y'all. It's hard to be alone up here at the top of the ACC. When Florida State had a pulse, we at least had some company. Now we've got third-tier teams like Louisville and NC State thinking that they're actual threats to our crown.
Ooh, you bastard!
It hurts, doesn't it? You read it and you go, oh. Goes on to write, we should be playing this game at night in Death Valley. ABC should be working on producing our next recruiting film. We should have 5 recruits fighting for a chance just to see this game. Instead, because of your ineptitude, we've got a 3:30 breeze-over game that nobody cares about. This is your fault. You need to get your crap together next year and figure out how not to quit on the field. We don't like you, but we kind of need you to be better than this.
Ooh, you bastard!
And they go on to say, Seminoles, Noles, if you'll allow, you're being conned. And if you had any self-respect, you'd stand up for yourself and finally let Jimbo walk on over to that SEC team he threatens to do every season. Instead, you're most likely going to offer him yet another extension after a dismal season because Texas A&M winked at him in the grocery store line. Does Jimbo have you convinced?
Was that the express lane or the full lane?
Does Jimbo have you convinced that if he leaves, no one will ever love you again? Hey, guys, maybe, just maybe, he's not that great. I get it. Jimbo and Winston won you a national championship, and that's significant. But maybe Jimbo's biggest contribution to the cause was his willingness to look the other way while Winston made your program look dumb. So, see, now you're like, oh,
you
hell no.
That's
no,
we're
you
going to draw a line here.
You want me to start hating Clemson now? I don't even hate you guys. But you pipe up like that, them's fighting words.
He says that, personally, I think Jimbo's a better enabler than he is a football coach. If you all want is someone to look the other way and make excuses, then maybe Jimbo is the right guy for you. However, if you want a dynamic football mind who can assemble a killer coaching staff and extract every ounce of talent from your ridiculously high-level recruits, you can do much better than him.
I want to fight this guy.
Charles Kelly was best known for his work as the DC on a 7-7 Georgia Tech team. Good hire. My brother-in-law. Now, that did make me laugh. I have to admit that's kind of funny. My brother-in-law is a VFL, Vol for Life, bless his heart. And if you mention Randy Sanders in his presence, he will fight you. Tim Brewster was run out of Minnesota on a rail after losing a home game to South Dakota. That's the best group Jimbo could assemble? When Clemson needed help, Dabo went to Chad Morris and Brent Venables. You guys going to stick with Kelly and Sanders, are you?
No.
Come on, Knowles. You deserve better than that. After this season, while Jimbo is flirting with Texas A&M, let him walk. Get out the door. Goes on to play I Will Survive video.
Okay.
If you want a list of possible coaches, just head over to any Tennessee fan board and steal their list. You guys could actually land one of them. Then he takes some shots at our facilities compared to their facilities now.
Oh, get out of here.
Which I don't
All
care.
right.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
You had Ipte for decades. Didn't matter.
Goes on to say Florida State is going to have a moment of clarity and remember that their roster consists of 4 consecutive top 5 classes. The team that looked like they had no interest in competing with Boston College will be nowhere to be found, and instead they'll have a bunch of badass 5-star athletes flying around the field. Clemson will have to dig down deep to pull out a win here, and because nobody other than Clemson or FSU fans will actually watch the game, the rest of the nation will think Clemson got pushed to the limit by a scrub 3-5 team, when in reality the actual Florida State team showed up instead of the imposters that we've seen all year. I have zero faith in bad Florida State showing up in Death Valley, but because Jimbo and his coaching staff have been hot garbage all year, we're not going to get credit for knocking off a team with top 5 national talent, and I hate that. And then, just more stuff there. But
he must have learned from when Spurrier was waxing them year in and year out how to play that game.
Yeah, but it is kind of fun, and it's actually framed in that manner. He's basically openly admitting that this is a hate column, and he's going to have fun with it, and does. And it's something we did on the air to them and our rivals across the board frequently when we ruled the lot. It's what it's what the strong can do because they're in a position to do so, to be the bully, to dismiss challengers to the throne. When you win 29 straight, that's exactly what you do, and you scoff and laugh at the frustrations of others around you. And now we're in the position to be laughed at, and it does not feel good. And I hate it. And I really hate it when I read things like that and go, there's an element of truth to some of those quips.
Ooh, you bastard!
I will say the rundown of the coaching staff gave you pause, didn't it?
Well, yeah, but Brewster's a recruiter. You could save Brewster there.
You can. You can save Brewster. Walt Deptula going to join us. Let's talk Florida State Clemson. Get his thoughts. He covers that team. I don't. Get some insight as to their season. And if there's a chance for Florida State to win the game, how so? I have an idea. I'll posit it. We'll see if he shoots it down. Partly my idea is I'm troubled by it because it requires us to block. Damn it, man. That pesky blocking. Pesky, not pesky.
Yeah, it's part of the game.
Pesky.
It's a big one.
You can say pesky, Jeff.
Walt
Deptula joins us next.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and the full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
At 2 p.m., get all the mimosas and Bloody Marys you can drink and a breakfast for $18.99. Can you say Uber? Knowles, Bucks, Jags, or Finns, no matter who your favorite team is, take it to 2033 North Monroe Street and watch them at Tallahassee's favorite football hangout, the Fourth Quarter Bar and Grill.
Monster Energy, welcome to Rockville. Florida's biggest rock experience has returned. April 27th, 28th, and 29th with over 50 bands, including Foo Fighters, Ozzy Osbourne, Avenged Sevenfold, Queens of the Stone Age. Like the way you used to do. Welcome to Rockville, the biggest 3-day rock festival to ever hit Florida. April 27th through the 29th with Foo Fighters, Ozzy Osbourne, Avenged Sevenfold, Queens of the Stone Age, Godsmack, Five Finger Death Punch, Breaking Benjamin, Stone Sour, Greta Van Fleet, plus the one and only Billy Idol. Go to WelcomeToRockvilleFestival.com for all ticket, VIP, and festival information. Foo Fighters, Ozzy Osbourne, and so much more. Welcome to Rockville, fueled by Monster Energy Drink.
Get your weekend started right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Saturdays at 6 a.m. with Fishing Florida Radio. Listen to the three amigos, Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina, and presented by Hobbit American Grill, locally owned and operated since 1978.
Look at that mouth. That poor, parched mouth. So dry. What'd you eat for lunch? Chalk dust? Did your mouth cannonball into a barrel of mothballs? You're being awfully quiet. Is that because your mouth feels like the business end of a Dremel saw? Is it because your mouth just wrote a haiku and all 17 syllables were dry heaves? You're so parched. You know it. I know it. The entire radio knows it. Just admit it. You want a Mountain Dew. Your mouth feels like it just inhaled the insides of a punching bag, and the only remedy is that neon green potion. Right now, your mouth could be tongue bathing in the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Instead, it feels like you've been motorboating King Tut's sarcophagus. Show some mercy. Crack open an ice-cold Mountain Dew. You know your mouth wants you to. Do the do.
PepsiCo North America Beverages recently named Tallahassee Pepsi its 2016 Bottler of the Year. The prestigious award was created to honor the very best independent bottler in the United States and Canada for outstanding customer service, sales execution, and community support. Congratulations, Tallahassee Pepsi.
Before the holidays, it's the little things at CVS Pharmacy that help get you ready for the season. Like decadent Ghirardelli chocolates, now buy one, get one 50% off. And Hallmark greeting cards for friends and family. CVS Pharmacy offers so many other little things too, like a $10 CVS Pharmacy cash card. Yours when you spend $30 on select items, including Progresso soup, now 3 for $4. Head to your neighborhood CVS Pharmacy today and save big on all the little things for everyone on your list.
Redemption Thursday on the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Frank's Auto World on West Tennessee Street, ranked by Car Gurus as the best used car dealer in Tallahassee. Check out the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Tallahassee at franksautoworld.com.
Temperature 97.9 ESPN Radio, and we get a chance to do this every year. We always threaten to talk to each other a little bit more frequently. That would be a good or bad thing, depending on what you think of Walt Aptula and me. I'm not real sure, but I always enjoy talking to Walt, and he'll give you honest assessment of what's going on, both good and bad for Clemson and obviously anybody else for that matter. We welcome him now. He's host of Road Rage with Walt Deptula. You can find him on 105.5 The Roar. Hello, Walt. How are you, buddy?
Great, Jeff. It's always good to spend some time with you.
Thank you. It's good to spend some time with you. You know, ordinarily this is a competitive matchup that we have to decipher and that we have to look into at depth. I don't think so. I think this year Clemson will win this game going away. This isn't some sort of chicanery on my part to set up some sort of gotcha moment. Florida State can't block Clemson. Is it as simple as that?
I think it is. I mean, that's how it looks to me on paper. I'm watching the Noles all year. I think of all the issues, I think the offensive line's the most significant. And that seems like a bad recipe when you're going up against Kristen Wilkins and Dexter Lawrence and Clelin Ferrell and Austin Bryant. So I don't like that matchup for Florida State. And if you can't compete at the line of scrimmage with Clemson, it's hard to imagine how Akers is going to get off or how Blackman's going to be productive.
Well, there's no question about that, and that seems to be the painfully obvious thing for anybody who's going to assess this game to point out, as I did and as you just did. But I want to get back to some other elements that might, for our listeners' sake, make this somewhat competitive. And here's the only way I can see it, and I want to ask you about two components to Clemson that I have question marks about that maybe Florida State can't exploit, but down the line somebody else might be able to. Let's start with Kelly Bryant, who we knew would be a very good runner, and he is. We also knew that you can't replace the brilliance of Deshaun Watson as a passer and as an overall threat at quarterback. How has Kelly done? When I watch him, he struggles down the field. He opts for the shorter pass, the safer throw, which might not be a bad idea because you guys can really, Clemson can really run the football, and you want to protect it. But your assessment of what Kelly Bryant is at quarterback for Clemson?
Well, he's a big, really mobile, powerful athlete first. And Clemson's offense this year has been a quarterback run-centric offense first. Last year, they were a pass-first offense. Oddly enough, if you actually look at the games themselves, you could argue that Clemson's been much more dominant this year than they were under Deshaun Watson, because almost every game last year was close. I think there were 7 games within like a touchdown. And Deshaun Watson, for all his brilliance, he giveth and taketh away. He turned the ball over some. He believed he could throw the ball anywhere, and as a result, he made some mistakes. Well, this offense, being more run-centric, isn't as prone to turnover. So what they've really done, for the most part, is they've been able to get out in front early, and then they just sort of boa constrict you to death. And so they've not been prone to the mistakes. The defense, as a result, hasn't had to face sudden change or short fields. And it's hard to go 80 yards on this defense unless you're Syracuse on that one strange night.
It's very hard to do, and I think for Florida State to have a shot in this game, they're going to have to show up and play on defense as they did against Alabama and force Kelly Bryant to have to hit some passes down the football field.
Again, that is like you say, that's an area that he has struggled in some, especially I think it was most notable in this last game. Now, I don't think he's 100%. That ankle is still bothering him, and I think it impacts his weight transfer, and that may have had something to do with it. But NC State's also a pretty good football team, and maybe Bradley Chubb got in his head a little bit with all that towel pulling stuff, and I can't be certain. But if there's an area that he struggled in, it's that. And it's not that he doesn't have the arm strength. He actually throws a pretty nice looking deep ball. But connecting of late has been a bit of an issue.
Talk about the injuries to the secondary. What's the status? I think you lost 3 guys last week, or 2 to 3 guys Clemson lost last week against NC State.
Yeah, well, Mark Fields hasn't played, and Edmonds is probably out, although I'm less certain of that. Ray McLeod, the wide receiver, wound up playing defensive back late in that game, cornerback, and of course he's been cross-trained in that, and there's been a discussion all year as to whether we would see him in that role here. And finally, circumstances dictated that Clemson had to play him, and he actually played pretty well in that role. He's a thick, strong athlete, and I think they feel okay about having him out there. But if there's an area right now that you might be able to do some business in, it's against that secondary, certainly. And Now, a quarterback as polished as Finley playing behind that offensive line was able to do just that. And, of course, he's getting the ball out of his hands quickly and that type of stuff. I'm just not sure that Florida State's passing game is anywhere near as polished as NC State's, nor am I sure, well, actually I am sure that offensive line's not as good as NC State's.
Well, that's the most frustrating aspect is, and I've talked about this some this week, that if you look for an area to attack Clemson where you could have success, it would be down the field.
Right.
The problem is, of course, that most of us who have watched this Florida State team all year long know that there's virtually zero chance that James Blackman will have the time to let routes develop and throw down the field and try to take advantage of some problems in the secondary. I mean, Ray McLeod may very well end up being a great cover guy. He is just, 5'7", 5'8"?
Yep.
I'd like to think if Florida State could let that develop, you got a chance with a bigger receiver to get the ball down the field, but it just seems almost pointless at this point. And I don't think Jimbo Fisher can call the game that way. I want to ask you some big picture stuff. I had a chance, Walt, to talk to Dabo Swinney at the ACC kickoff, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. In sitting across from him, we did 15 to 20 minutes, and it was funny because I went into it with a certain mindset thinking that I knew who he was, and I walked away from that interview thinking something entirely different. It has been one hell of a run, a historically great run for Clemson. In fact, if Clemson wins the ACC championship this year, that'll be back-to-back-to-back for the first time since 87 through 89. And Dabo's place is cemented now as an elite coach, and he's done a fantastic job. And I rather enjoyed the conversation with him, and I can see why guys play for him. Talk about your impressions of what Dabo Swinney has been able to do with Clemson. Brent Venables is an elite defensive coordinator. People pine for him around here in Tallahassee now. I guess just big picture, the status of the program, because Clemson has surpassed Florida State, and that is the thing that causes much hand-wringing around here.
Well, I think it starts with the fact that he's a really sharp guy. I think sometimes people have this image of him based on the past where, he did a little of the rah-rah stuff.
Right.
But if that's what they think, they're sadly mistaken. I mean, this guy is sharp, shrewd. He is as organized as any coach I've ever seen. For example, I'll go to the Venables thing. I had him on recently, and I said to him, Coach, when Chad Morris left, everybody around here panicked. And there was a discussion, including on my show, of where Clemson would go for an offensive coordinator, and we're bringing names up from all over the country. When he knew all along where he was going, he knew that he would hire in-house for that. So I said to him, so Coach, with that in mind, I said, Brent Venables is probably not going to be here that much longer. Do you already know where you're going to go for that too? And he said, absolutely, Walt. See, and all coaches obviously keep lists of guys that are on their trees or affiliated with them, but this guy seems to know 2 steps ahead of time and has planned for virtually every outcome. And I think that and his never ceasing, at first I think people misread this a little, and, he would make some comments about particular players that may have been a little bit of hyperbole in nature. But I think that for the most part, this guy, what you see is what you get. He is 100% positive, straightforward all the time. Nothing deters him. Nothing stops the positive attitude. He doesn't care who you are or what you say or what you do. This is his program, and this is the direction it's going in, and you can't do anything to stop it. And if they lose a game, here's a good example, Jeff. Clemson loses almost an unthinkable game to Syracuse, and this is the type of thing that in the past would have elicited the Clemsoning comments under Tommy Bowden. Well, in the aftermath of losing to Syracuse, Dabo Swinney comes out. He credits Syracuse 100%. He goes to the Syracuse locker room. He congratulates all those guys, and the next thing you know, all around America, people are writing about what a great guy Dabo Swinney is, and that's how you handle losing and this type of thing. So somehow, even in a difficult defeat and almost embarrassing defeat for the program, Clemson was made to look positive again just by the nature of this guy. And it's not an act. I mean, it's actually who he is.
Yeah, I think that's what I discovered in the interview process was that from afar, and he's grown up a lot as a head coach. We've watched that maturation process. And guys have to grow into these roles, and sometimes they never do. Sometimes they remain what I like to call perfect coordinators, but not head coaches. and you know there are plenty of those guys that have had their shot at head coach. Yeah, you can go on and on, right? They wouldn't be good head coaches because you almost have to be, in a weird way, not just a CEO, but you have to be a great face for the program, a representation of the program, and that means you have to see the bigger picture. And you can't just you have to shake all the hands and all the other hands and everything else that's involved in that. And it can be very difficult for guys to transition into that role. I think he's done it exceptionally well, and admittedly above and beyond what I would have guessed him to be able to do back when he was dancing on camera and wearing a sweatshirt, running down the hill and high-fiving fans. Now I look at the guy, and that sounds like a cheap shot. I don't mean it to be. I just always used to think of him as, boy, that guy is infectious, he's fun, but he's not head coach material. And then we see this transformation, and when I interviewed him, I saw what you talked about. He's smart, he's charming, and yes, he has a vision. You look long-term at what's going on at Clemson. Again, I reference these as sort of the glory days here. Clemson is set up now, Walt, to be in position, I think, to be an elite program for the next 10, 15 years. The investment is there. The resurgence is intact, and it doesn't look like, do you guess long-term, do you think Dabo Swinney is there for Clemson over the long haul, or if that Alabama job opened up and they turned to him after Nick Saban left, would he leave for Alabama?
Yeah, Jeff, honestly, I don't know the answer to that. I think that, to me, he built this program, and so it's sort of his baby. His son plays on the team. He's thoroughly invested in the community. I think the only job that he would consider would be Alabama, and I still don't know whether he would make that move or not. It's a little like, to a lesser extent, it's a little like Gary Patterson at TCU. Mm-hmm. I keep thinking every year that Gary Patterson's going to wind up somewhere else, but you know what? Maybe he doesn't want to. He built that thing at TCU, and maybe enough is enough.
Well, his name will get mentioned for the Texas A&M job now.
That's the first guy I would call. I'll tell you that. I would back up the Brinks truck, and I'd give him anything he wanted to go to Texas A&M, and I mean that. It's funny, Jeff. You think about this. These programs like Tennessee, who hired every loser, Derek Dooley and Lane Kiffin and Butch Jones. And remember, people think Alabama's always been good, but Alabama went through all the loser Mikes, Mike DeBose and Mike Shula and, Mike Francione.
Francione was there for an hour.
Mike Price, who hired the Dee Snyder-looking stripper.
Right. That was Mike Price, actually, that was there for an hour. You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they went through all these losers, and then eventually these programs like Alabama and Ohio State, they figure out that, you know what, if we want to make money, if we want to be relevant, we actually are going to need to go spend some money. So, so maybe that's it. I mean, if you're a program like A&M, and I read recently A&M had a $200 million athletic budget and a $60 million surplus, which dwarfs every other program in the country. All right, go spend it. Go get Gary Patterson. Give him $10 million.
I got a question for you, Walt, and I'm very, very interested to hear your answer. What's your sense? And you pay very close attention. You know the X's and O's. Certainly you know personnel and you know program building. What's your sense, and maybe even your listener base's sense, I don't know, I care as much about what fans think, but of Jimbo Fisher, the coach? It has to be different than it was 4 years ago.
Well, I mean, I have questions. I still fundamentally think that Jimbo Fisher is a pretty bright offensive mind, and when he's had the pieces, his offenses look pretty good. Somebody asked me yesterday, a Florida State fan, has Jimbo Fisher lost it as a play caller? And I said, you know what, I honestly can't answer that question. And the reason I can't answer it is because if you're playing with that offensive line, and again, that's in part his doing, but if you're playing with that offensive line, nothing else matters. I can't get past that. Those people can't block anybody. And if you can't block anybody, how do I know how effective you are as a play caller? And so I think there are questions there, and we've had this question before, Jeff, about the receiving corps and the apparent either failure to analyze, develop talent there, get the talent on the field. But, I mean, we're talking, one of the differences between these two teams is every year Clemson is just loaded at receiver, and these guys make plays. Now, this year's a little different because the offense is a little more run-centric. But for years now, since like Kelvin Benjamin anyway, we don't see Florida State wide receivers making significant impact. And there has to be some fail there, and it's not 100% clear to me what that fail is. I think in terms of the offensive line, to me, and I'm sure we'll talk more about this Friday, but I think there's been some recruiting failures there.
There's a myriad of problems there, my friend. We will talk about that. Yeah, it's interesting. I actually think, to answer my own question, I do think he's fine as a play caller. I think when we go back and when we analyze the call, it's seldom the problem. I
tend to agree with that.
Yeah, it's usually that somebody missed an assignment or they just simply couldn't block it up, which, again, is a problem and a failure. The offensive line.
Charles Kelly received there because I know that's another constant refrain that I hear from Knowles fans. They're not pleased with Charles Kelly.
It'd be impossible to be pleased with Charles Kelly currently. Walt. He's not received very well. Problem is, too, it's funny, is that everybody who's ever had an interaction with Charles Kelly, who's ever spoken to him for any length of time, he's awesome. He's a super good guy. He's smart as a whip, and when you talk to him, he's passionate and he's involved, and you can tell he cares about the kids. So you root for the guy. You want him to do well because his head is in it and he's involved for the right reasons. But the results are the results, Walt. They've got 5- and 4-star kids all over that field, many of whom, if you look at draft projections, think of them what you will, but you can take a large sample size and find that Florida State's going to have a myriad of those players drafted highly. And you know, too, that many of them are going to be put in better positions to succeed and showcase that talent that we don't see week to week as two guys run fit in the same gap.
Let me ask you this, and again, this will be part of our Friday conversation, but I agree with everything you said, but who's the last great defensive end at Florida State? Who's the last great edge rusher?
Yeah, a dominant edge rusher. I mean, DeMarcus Walker just a year ago, but he was more. They moved him around, but he was obviously last year. Florida State had no trouble getting to the quarterback.
Yeah.
But you're right. In terms of pure domination, they used to do it year in and year out. We would all got so used to back in the '90s with guys like Raynard Wilson and Andre Wadsworth and on and on and on. I see where you're going with that.
Well, because even Walker, while he was a very effective player collegiately, the pro level didn't especially love his athleticism.
Sure.
And if Florida State, during the heyday, I always thought about these dominant defensive ends like Wadsworth who just crushed opposing quarterbacks, and it was just so frequent that you saw opposing quarterbacks sort of hobbling off the field under the onslaught of these defensive ends. Well, that seems another difference in these two programs now. Clemson seems to have these NFL-ready defensive ends that are just waiting in the pipeline for their turn, and that's something that Sweeney has created. He's created this unbelievable level of competition, similar to what Carroll had at USC when he was out there, whereby the next guy is so anxious by the time it becomes his turn that he just can't wait to have the guy in front of him leave for the NFL. And in this cycle, every year people keep talking about, well, Clemson lost this many guys on defense, and yet the next year the next group just steps in and they perform better, and these guys are actually waiting in the wings. And to me, when I look at the Seminoles, like a guy like Josh Sweat, I think he came out as a 5-star guy, if I recollect. And, and he talked, I know, in the offseason about how he was really going to show out this year, but it doesn't seem to have happened.
Well, I know when he came in as a 5-star, he was coming off that devastating knee injury, and there were real questions about whether or not he'd ever reclaim the explosiveness that he showcased in high school. He is excellent at setting the edge. Against the run, he's as good as you'll see in the game, but no, not explosive off the edge. His get-off isn't great to get to the passer. Also, some of this is the problems with the scheme that everybody around here gets angry about. They're never asked to pin their ears and go get it. They're never allowed to eat. And people get very frustrated by that. You win first down and second down, about the only thing Florida State's been able to do this year. The interior of that defensive line is very good. Noddy and Christmas have played well. And they've got bodies there so they can hold up. But when you get teams into 3rd and 5 or longer, when it's your chance to get after the quarterback, they don't. And we've seen an excessive number of 3rd and longs converted. And so this is all part and parcel to the problems that are bountiful right now, Walt, which we'll get into tomorrow. Hey, buddy. I love talking to you. Be well. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Sounds great, Jeff. Enjoyed it.
All right, take care. That's Walt Deptula. You can hear his stuff on The Roar there and Road Rage with Walt Deptula at 105.5 The Roar FM. You know, he's a knowledgeable guy and fun to talk to, and you know, I don't get to hear his show just as he doesn't get to hear mine, but I have a feeling, you know, they're in the salad days right now, and we're over here thinking back to what was, and it's tough.
Cobb salad, grilled chicken salad,
it's just
steak salad,
every
whatever
day
you think is
go.
a good salad, that's the day they're in.
Well, and they've got a great defensive coordinator, a head coach who's got a vision that is fully bought into, and those players love playing for him. I'll tell you that much right now. That's evident every week. They love that guy, and no matter what my initial assessments were of Dabo Swinney, of which I turned out to be wholly wrong about, you know, I now recognize, and it's unavoidable, that the guy's done fantastic work. And I wasn't just kissing ass to kiss ass, because if I could rip Clemson, I would. But what is there to rip right now about Clemson? Players play hard. They're wildly consistent. They recruit exceptionally well. Their fans are passionate, fill out the joint. They win games against high-quality competition. They're the reigning national champions. They've got a good chance to get back to the playoff. I kind of think they will, frankly. You know, that's what we were. We were the reigning national champion who went undefeated the following season and went back to college football playoff, and we thought, well, these good times are here. It's never going to end. We got the right guy. This group here is just – and it can all turn in a hurry. That's one thing I have learned. You make a few mistakes. You let some elements seep into the locker room in terms of allowing for a culture to grow toxic, and the next thing you know, you've lost it. It happened to Urban Meyer at Florida. So we know this. But it doesn't appear to be on the horizon at Clemson anytime soon.
Urban better be careful right now, too, at Ohio State.
I agree with that. But part of the problem they have at Ohio State, and I know they just got done giving up 54 points, but that may be a problem. That is a weird game to have happen to Iowa. But their quarterback threw 4 picks, and I don't think he's any good. He looked like Jesus in the fourth quarter of the game against Penn State. But then again, if you think back to that Penn State-Iowa game, they give up a ton of points to Penn State to Iowa.
Right.
So that defense at times will allow opposing quarterbacks to get on a roll and make things happen.
Yeah. One thing I would say, though, is it would be pretty
Actually,
funny.
that's not the game I was referencing. Go ahead.
The Penn State-Iowa was, last play of the game.
Last
like
no,
20,
I know. Yeah, but it was lower scoring. I was thinking of I'll think of it. Go ahead.
Oklahoma? You talking about Ohio State, Oklahoma? Or are you talking about an Iowa game?
No.
At any rate, you know, I think that if and when Urban's time is up in Ohio State, if they just went back to Tressel, that would be the perfect thing for them.
Isn't it funny? Because you're not wrong in the sense that, yeah, they would bring in this other guy.
I mean, what he was fired for this day and age? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you would never get fired.
Welcome back, Jim. Sorry about that. Hey, the cupboard stock, just like you left it for Irby, the cupboard stock for you. Welcome back. Sweater vest. Hello.
Yeah, he I was just thinking about 3 things at the same time. Iowa's schedule, the 27 points Michigan State scored, and then also Ohio State's ability to somehow give up 54 points. I just can't get it out of my mind on a loop with the Big Ten.
That's twice you got your butt kicked. One of which was in Columbus.
Strange. Back to Florida State Clemson for a second. You know, this rivalry, and this is one thing I do know, whether it's going to last forever and a day at Clemson, which it won't, nothing ever does. Or we're in the midst of the beginning of the end for Jimbo, which may or may not be the case. It deserves better than what we have this weekend. I like what they represent in the ACC, and certainly I love Florida State and what we represent in the ACC, and we're not properly holding up our end of the bargain. And it makes me mad to know that you go into this game, which should be the showcase game of the ACC for the entire country to watch, which it has been. Go back to even last year. Was then too. A whole country grew interested in this conference as it began to rise up from a middling Power 5 conference to, for a moment, the best. And it was partly because of this rivalry and the talent on the field for these two programs. And now that's not happening.
We changed it. We changed the narrative together, the two of us. You know, we win the title, we break the streak, we go back to the college football playoff. But meanwhile, Dabo's beating big-time SEC programs in bowl games. And he's beating Ohio State, you know, in the Orange Bowl the year that we win the title. I mean, he beat that LSU team before, we won outright. But, we beat South Carolina, and we took care of Florida every single year. And we beat Ole Miss even last year. We've changed the narrative together. But right now, I mean, I'm glad we're playing Florida so we can still get a win over the SEC, one would think. But it's just not the same. And we're it just shows you that, like you just said, a couple of little things can make the gulf appear to be so wide. But I don't think the gulf is that wide.
No.
You're an offensive line away this year from being, 3 games better in the win and loss column.
No, and sometimes there's a stark reality here, you need people from the outside to sometimes tell you what's right before your eyes. Now, when we get on the air, we're fighting hard every day to remove the loyalties and find objectivity as best as possible and also not go overboard. Because when you're angry, and I think we all are, it's easy to overstate the problems. So, we do these shows right now. It's an interesting time, and to me, I'm looking a lot at a lot of things, but one of them is I can occasionally hear it just as you can, and you think to yourself, if I'm in the car right now and thinking these guys are going a little overboard, they're really angry, it's a bad season, and they're not thinking about all of the mitigating circumstances, and they're overstepping. Sometimes I feel that way. Other times, in an effort to be fair and to find, again, objectivity in the midst of a very emotional time, I think we're being awfully kind. Awfully kind. I think there are times where you could be much more direct and blunt about the fact that he has failed and allowed this program to move to a place that it should never be in.
Yeah, it's really close to being back to what it was. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, that you can't beat the hell out of anybody anymore. That it has to every game's close,
and that you lose to teams on the regular,
right?
That you have no business losing to.
Correct.
Upsets happen. See Syracuse over Clemson this year. We get it. The occasional "where did that come from" is part of the joy of college football. When it's rare, it stands out. You tend to remember them. Do you remember all the losses over the last few years? I mean, my God, there's enough of them to go around. How about Georgia Tech's singular victory in the ACC from a couple years ago against Florida State?
Yeah, if you're talking just about us, yes, I totally agree. The thing about Clemson, though, is it's a razor's edge for them, too. We're talking about the consistency.
A year ago where they had so many close
State,
games.
Pitt.
Yeah, but when you're playing back-to-back national championship games, one of which you should have won and didn't, lost in the waning moments, and another one you do win, and you pull it out at the end, but their ability to – okay, so going into the Alabama games, plural, we believed both times that Clemson had a very good chance to win those games.
Yes.
And we talked that, Deshaun's a special player, could happen, a lot of things going in their favor. Alabama's Alabama, so it'll be interesting, and we got 2 classics is what we ended up getting. I told you, and I know I'm only talking about perception. Going into the Alabama game this year, I thought – it would really be surprising if Florida State won the game. And what did I come back to? Offensive line. I just didn't think this offensive line could win enough battles to produce and sustain enough offense to overcome what Alabama's going to do with great consistency. And I think I can make that assumption almost every week when we play against decent defensive lines. That our offensive line, that you're going to have to go so out of your way to scheme up something that's going to give you a fighting chance to make some big plays with your stud athletes. You can't just ever line up and bully somebody. You can never do it. And we watch the really elite teams do it all the time.
But that's not really philosophically what we do anyway.
No, but listen, there are plenty of NFL teams that run a ton of outside zone and zone blocking in general where they bully people. I mean, there are plenty of man elements in any zone blocking scheme. So, but you're right. I understand what you're talking about. You're talking about an LSU mentality under Fournette compared to what we have.
Yeah, I'm saying, we're a multiple offense, but we really don't stick with the between the tackles thing hardly ever, even when times are good.
Frustratingly so. And I think that what ends up happening there, though, is that you create a certain mindset.
Right. Well, okay. Again, it's simple. It's very thin, this margin, and we have the athletes to get us back next year. Next year, if you get Dickerson back and Bavion Johnson, those injuries aren't complete hindrances to their careers. Derek Kelly's got 1 more year left, so you've got a lot of pieces. Even Eberle has another year left, so you've got pieces for competition there on the offensive line. And then you can bring back, DeAndre Francois, have a competition in the spring and the summer, and competition makes everybody better. So that's a good thing. The quarterback position will
if Francois can be back in the spring.
Right. Well, I think he will with no contact. You can at least get a sense of where he's going to be. and then you have a competition into the fall camp, and good. So we get the better out of the two of them, and may the best man win. But the hard part at the same time is you have athletes with immense potential that's not being met. That's the unforgivable part here.
That's the disconnect that we're talking about, where guys have, on multiple occasions, not played hard. That you don't see. So for all the close calls at these other places that we're talking about, those kids are always playing hard.
But that's how good you are, potentially, if you think about it that way, in a warped sense. But that's how talented this team is that the effort isn't there consistently.
Oh, I don't doubt they can bounce back. Listen, I go back to what I said, which is that I do believe that he's proved beyond a shadow of a doubt to be a very good football coach, Jimbo Fisher, who's got a lot of flaws right now that he's got to confront and deal with, and that's fine. And if he does that and brings in the right guys and the voices get heard and people buy back in, you got a chance to turn this thing back to where it was and compete for conference and national titles. Obviously, that's where we're at. It has to happen. There is no other choice. The next step after that would be to call for his firing. So it's as simple as that. It's just a matter of monitoring to see if he can do it and sit by, incredulously so, as you lose games 35-3 to Boston College.
Yeah. This year aside, and the anger about the season aside for just a moment, let's just say that it was a new coach comes in next year, new head coach and a new system. You know, when Jimbo first took over, he's got to get this roster loaded with talent. He's got to get this roster in a place where we can actually compete with the big boys in college football. That's not the problem here. That's not fundamentally. This is an easier problem to solve than the one that Jimbo had when he first got here. The question is he willing to look at that issue and address that issue completely?
And because I blew through a break, let's do What's on Tap right here and say goodbye to everybody and thank everybody for listening. And
Ready for a cold one?
Sure.
Proof Brewing Company in Railroad Square Art Park presents What's on Tap. So, Jeff, what'll it be?
I think I'll watch a little bit of football. I don't know about you guys, but I'll cleanse the palate, not think about Florida State for a night, and instead maybe roll on up to to the living room of the Cameron.
I was going to say.
No, I'm not taking it to the
Thursday
bar.
night.
Well, I'm feeling like that would be all right, but I don't need to do that. Maybe a little West Coast hockey tonight at 10:30 for Tampa Bay, and I'll tune in and get a little.
How about some Pitt, North Carolina action?
What about Seattle and Arizona? What about Pitt, North Carolina? I will watch just because I'm a homer for the ACC waving the flag, baby. Get that flag out. Going to don the cap. You know what that score is going to be?
That score is going to be 24-21.
Is that what you feel?
Well, I like North Carolina's defense, as crazy as that sounds. If they care, they're pretty good.
That's awfully liberal with the pretty good, but
they are pretty good. Trust me. Watch it tonight. You'll see. What's on tap? That's right.
They're playing Pitt. That's everybody's all right against Pitt.
They're
these
bigger
days.
and they're more physical this year. That's the talking point. North Carolina is finally the defense is okay.
It's okay
by their standards. It's pretty damn good.
Our thanks to Proof Brewing Company for sponsoring What's on Tap. Proof Brewing Company since 2007 are offering Tallahassee's finest craft beer selections at their massive tap room in Railroad Square Art Park and canned deliciousness in stores near you. Good job, Tom.
What's on tap next is the countdown.
Boom.
4 quarters online.
Saw Coach when I was walking in. Earlier today, he was grabbing something, gathering, preparing, ready to roll. I said, all right, Coach, good to see you.
It's good to see you, Jeff.
Yeah, I love his voice, too.
It's a great voice.
We ended up talking about Florida State football.
I usually enjoy their first segment because they go national or Florida State, and Coach is not afraid.
No,
He'll tell you.
But he gets on me for being overly blunt. He'll say, well, you're always coming
I've never heard that.
Yeah, he gets on me all the time.
Listen to the first segment of the show. Listen back, Coach.
Good job, Matthew. Thanks to those that called and or listened. Our thanks to Walt Deptula, whose show I'll be on tomorrow. If you want to hear my take, he's going to ask me everything about Florida State. You get to hear that daily if you listen to the Jeff Cameron Show. And I'm glad that you do. Be well. Have a great night. Talk to you tomorrow.